thanks to Hims. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through Hims.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through Hims.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
The backseat. Check the backseat. All right, come here. Check the backseat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the backseat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover dribble. Sing for the crossover. Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul. Crossover. Double crossover. Crossover continues to evolve.
All right, the crossover is brought to you by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha, everlevelconcrete.com. Greg McDermott walks on the floor this upcoming season and has a big Everlevel Concrete Repair logo on his quarter zip.
Oh, nice. Good idea. Yeah. Now we're talking.
That is
revenue. That's the chant that should start in the crowds this year at college athletic events.
He's doing a post game with John and just finishes up by going Everlevel, and walks away.
What if you get coaches or players that are their uniform is just littered with sponsors, and just like a NASCAR driver when they're being interviewed, hey, I want to thank Dr. Pepper, and they just go through all of their sponsors. On
little surprised we're not there.
It's coming.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten to jerseys. Like I thought there would be an ad on jerseys, in the professional sports. By the way, the QT thing on the Royals, it's grown on me.
It's subtle,
tastefully done.
It's tasteful.
That's important.
Yeah, it works.
Make it visible, but not noticeable.
And I thought that maybe since it's such a vastly different color and it kind of stands out a little bit, that it would annoy me. I haven't noticed it.
I don't like go, oh my gosh, that looks awful. They've actually especially on the powder blues, it blends in pretty well.
Nice.
We're getting ads on jerseys.
So today
but they should let the athletes sell their own.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Now we're talking.
How do we get Snooki's cookies?
There'd be a lot of tattoo places in there. Maybe.
There would. That is true.
That'd be good. Okay. So today I have it written on my calendar.
Oh, I got this in.
You know about this. So months ago, I assume, we decided that we were going to have a mall food court draft. And today was the day that we decided that it was going to land on.
Okay.
I think this was in the winter when you sent out this invite.
Yeah, had to be. Because we like to say a lot of stuff during the winter, like, oh, that's a nice summer topic. Maybe the Friday before the College World Series
think I vaguely remember listening to this crossover.
And here we go. Friday before the College World Series starts. It says in my calendar, 10 a.m., Ultimate Mall Food Court Draft morning crossover.
Who gets
all caps?
Who gets the number 1 overall pick? Do we defer to Josh Hodson since he works the hardest?
Unfortunately, I didn't think about
this. Thank you for noticing, Jimmy.
For one more second after we had this idea. So I'm in the exact same place that we were in January.
Now I'm trying to think of where this stemmed from.
We talk about
Sabaro's conversation.
We talk about malls quite a bit on this crossover.
Yeah, we do.
Sabaro is
because that'd be my number 1 pick.
Really?
Wow.
Okay, so do you can go to a non-mall location here in Omaha?
Casey's.
It's overrated. It's got to be in a mall, otherwise it doesn't taste the same.
I don't know.
I agree. It does not hit the same.
The convenience store at 90th and Blondo. It's packed in there.
Wait. There's a Sabaro's in a Casey's?
Correct.
Casey's sells.
Oh no, actually, I don't think it is a Casey's.
Okay, I was like, wait,
Casey's.
Casey's
It's
a
a convenience store.
Yes, I apologize.
I'm not sure what the brand of the convenience store
I think
is.
it's a quick shop.
Quick.
Is it?
That's
Come and
seems a
go,
little
maybe?
more
So
realistic.
you go in.
Where's it
and
at? 96
90th
and Blondo?
and Blondo. So you walk in and it's to the left, and they
Oh
have
yeah.
seating.
You're right. Yeah,
It's always packed.
it is a
Because it's the only one in
come and
Omaha.
go,
Yes.
yeah. It's where they tore down that strip mall and built that car wash gas station combination.
Yeah, there used to be
Right.
like a Romeo's. On the
Romeo's is across the street now.
That's right.
So yes, we had this in the calendar. I haven't thought about it anymore since then. I will say this about Sbarro, and it's no offense to Sbarro. Anytime that's in the food court, I view it as sort of a wasted outlet.
Yeah,
I don't really go there.
You don't like good pizza though.
That is the opposite
Whoa.
of true. That is the opposite
Whoa.
of true.
This gentleman had the audacity
You-
one day
so-
to say,
so-
"I've been meaning to talk to you about this."
What you're telling me, Jimmy, is that Sbarro is your
No, no,
idea
no,
of
no.
good
You don't
pizza?
like buffalo chicken pizza.
That is not pizza. That's
It's
just
delicious
an
and amazing.
excuse for a burrito wrapped up onto a pizza.
I like that take.
If there's anything I like, it's a good excuse for a burrito.
I don't. No, mostly my crusade is against buffalo chicken. Just how pervasive it is in society.
It is everywhere. I do agree with that.
It's in
take.
too many places. It's on too many things. But that's a different topic.
It doesn't bother me, but it is.
What?
you are
Okay,
right.
It's everywhere.
So if Sbarro is off the board, what would be your first? pick?
Sbarro is off the board
Yeah.
for me. It was never
I
on my
took it.
board.
I'll take it number one overall. What do you have? At
Jimmy got the number one pick.
Jimmy
All right.
took the number one pick. Everybody.
I offered it up. Nobody grabbed it. I'm an
That's fair.
opportunist.
That's fair.
So I'd go with like whatever Chinese place there is.
That would have been my second choice.
Whether it's the guy giving out the teriyaki chicken samples over at Westroads back in the day at the old food court, or the
That's still a thing at a
whatever version of whatever it's called, like Imperial Palace or something like that, or China Walk, something like whatever it might be. That's my pick.
I'm going to put the Great Wall on the graphic.
Sure, the Great Wall.
I think everyone will understand.
Actually, that is
That's a
usually
great
the mall
umbrella.
one.
That's a
That's
great
usually the
umbrella.
mall one. Yeah.
Orange Julius.
Nice.
Does that include Dairy Queen or is it standalone?
I won't keep Dairy Queen out of it.
Okay.
You can have a standalone Orange Julius.
You like a little Julius when you walk around the mall.
As a kid,
Wow.
like at Merle Mall in Des Moines, Orange Julius was the place to go. Had a great location near one of the main
It
entrances.
was the place at Westroads too, back in the old food court. When I'm doing this draft, I'm imagining the old Westroads food court.
That's exactly what I was
That is
doing.
now the Container Store.
Now, is this a snake draft? Will I have the first pick of the second round, or will it
many
go
are
back to
asking.
Jimmy?
We'll just do a circle. You just
Okay,
have the fourth
okay,
pick every
okay.
time because of the breadth of things we're talking
Josh
about.
Johnson's
I'm gonna-
hammering out the due diligence.
I'm going to go Runza here. Runza, a staple of the Westroads food court for
Indeed,
many a year.
Indeed, absolutely.
Now, can I ask you a question here?
Fair pick.
Somebody that was not here when Crossroads was rolling. I've heard Crossroads Food Court was better than anybody
It was
else.
elite. It was
Wow.
elite.
Because wasn't it where
I don't remember
the
Crossroads
cones
Food
were
Court,
at
right?
Crossroads?
Yep.
That's where the food court was
Correct.
underneath that? Okay.
I don't remember anything about Crossroads Food Court.
I probably spent way too much time there.
What happened in there? What was going on in there, Jim?
They had you had your usuals that we're talking about now, but they had like a cotton candy place, a funnel cake place. They had what's the cheesesteak place called? Charlie's
oh yeah,
cheesesteaks,
That's a
which
good
is
one.
going to be my next pick, by the way.
Go for it.
It was they had a lot more variety in there. It wasn't just your usual. It was more kid friendly, I guess. So I'm taking Charlie's. I love me a good Philly cheesesteak. They've got a pretty good one. French fries are underrated too.
Yeah, those are good. That's a good pick. I actually appreciate that pick. Not a bad Sbarro number one overall reach.
I was going for value in the second round. That's why.
Yeah, you got it. You
Yeah.
got it. Okay, so that leads us back to me. There's obviously your Burger King option. That seems to be in every food court, but I'm going to go ahead and pass and leave that to the next person. I've taken my Chinese restaurant, so I need some sort of depth, something like that, a good depth piece, maybe a big
Strengthen your roster.
So I mean, Subway is, or you know what I'll do here? I'll do whatever random wrap store there was. There was just a wrap.
Speaking of needing a need for a burrito,
Like what
There
they're
you
gonna
go.
what they're gonna do is they're gonna fry up a bunch of chicken strips and they're gonna cut them up into tiny little pieces and they're gonna throw them inside a tortilla and put whatever else you want on top of there and whatever sauce you want on top of there. It's
Charge you
usually
$11.
ranch. And they always have good fries at those places. So generic wrap place. Great Wraps is probably the one that comes to my head first.
Okay.
Great Wraps.
I will go Cinnabon.
Oh, okay. So Gary's going for a little different angle here. He's going for the snacks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like at Cinnabon? The pretzel, the cinnamon pretzel bites.
Well, those are anti.
Oh, that's anti.
Well, hold on. That's my pick.
Okay.
There's going to be a run on. There's going to be a run on snacks here, so I'm taking anti-Ann's.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the cinnamon roll, and it's hot and it's gooey.
Yeah.
And it comes in the box.
It just seems hard to me because what you're doing. Are you sitting down and eating the cinnamon roll?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine then.
You know what happened?
It's not a walking.
You know what just happened to me? You know that moment in your fantasy draft where you have somebody queued up and you're like, don't take him. Cinnabons was in the queue for your boy.
Oh, sorry.
Back to something you said before Josh explains his pick. You know what I think we are on the cusp of in America when it comes to food? Because you just mentioned, is this something you can't walk around with? I think we are about to have an explosion of the walk-in taco.
Is this in direct response
It's already popular, but I think we are about to have this huge birth and blow up around our sporting stadiums and arenas of the walking taco being available.
So basically, the current version of that is a bag of Doritos or something like that with a whole bunch of hamburger poured on top of
I think
it.
the Crunchwrap Supreme got people going, how do we make this more viable?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I don't know if it's on the cusp of explosion.
I'm sensing you are not a fan of the walking taco.
It's just never what I want.
I agree with that.
It's
like,
just never-
if it's there, I'll eat it, but I'm never just like, you know what I need in my life today?
Yeah,
there's
The conversation
uniqueness.
never happens.
It's portable.
I'd rather have regular nachos. Like if the options are walking
Nachos
tacos
in
or
a
regular
plastic
nachos,
baseball helmet.
sure, sign me up.
People,
Well, help
when I was at the Royals game last Sunday, people kept just lines of people back up the stairway, back to their seats, and they would just walk right by me every time, and they would have a gigantic helmet full of nacho. And finally, I interrupted.
Gave in?
I interrupted one guy, and I said, "What is that you have?" And he goes, "Oh, bro, it's a brisket acho or brisket brochacho or whatever it was." And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" There was just a bunch of gunk on top of it.
Did you get it? Did you go get some?
I did not. I was too full of beer.
Oh, that'll do it. We'll do it.
Good comment here from Mike on YouTube. I tend to agree with this. Walking taco is basically soccer in the United States. Always predicted to become big. Never happens.
Nice. We need more work.
That is a great take.
In the youth
I feel
walking taco community.
I feel like walking taco's been on the cusp a couple of times.
Yeah, it's tried. It's gotten there.
Yeah, but see what I've seen more different versions where the bag is sturdier, where you can walk around.
Okay.
They actually make walking taco bags now specifically for
Doritos is bought in.
Let's just get to a couple comments since I feel like we're kind of winding down a little bit here. I mean, I don't know how many rounds we're scheduled for today, maybe 3 or 4.
We've completed 2.
It's like the NBA. It's a 2-day draft.
Mike says Connor Happer here for non-chain mall food court restaurants. That's exactly right. I am.
Really went off the board with both your picks.
I do like to go to the places that nobody was at. There was always the giant line at Burger King. And,
which I didn't get. Like
nobody's taken yet.
And there's always the giant line at the current Westroads at the Raising Cane's. And I have nothing against those places, but I'd rather go to the.
You can get them other places.
Of course you can.
Yeah,
of course you can.
If you're at the mall,
you're not stopping at the Chick-fil-A in the food court.
Not on Sundays.
I am definitely not on Sundays. I can't recall a place that had a Well, I mean, I suppose like the Mall of America has a.
Does that lessen Chick-fil-A's value in this draft? The fact that they're not open on Sundays, like
I think definitely
it's not a utility player.
Weekend. I mean, the best ability is availability.
Do you want to explain your pick?
Auntie Anne's. It's a damn fine pretzel. Next.
Why have they become
pretzel bites with the cinnamon on them? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, but when you get the free sample as you walk by, which they don't have as much anymore, or they don't put out the little tray where with the toothpick and you just grab and go.
Yeah.
They've cut back on that. Damn Bin Laden.
They understand their worth.
That's your marketing.
Are we going 3 rounds deep here?
Yeah, let's just finish it off here. I don't know that we have much left.
I need to round out with a dessert option. Therefore, I will take Dairy Queen with my third pick.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess you could still have that. Yeah.
Gary said he was taking Orange Julius by itself.
You can have Dairy Queen.
You know, I think people are going to look at your GM skills and say you got a steal there.
Yeah, in the third round?
Yeah.
I reached in the first round, got quality in the second and the third.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got here that's left on the board?
Sabaros, the Trey Lance of this draft.
Nice. It is. It is. I don't even know what we have left on the board here. I might be at a
Subway still out there?
You got a
Subway's
you
still
can
out
mix in
there.
a little Jamba Juice.
I could mix in a little Jamba Juice. I wouldn't mind a little juice.
I don't think I've ever seen a Jamba Juice at a food court.
Right. And that's located, of course, like just off of the food court,
Not
but it's
here.
right next to the where you can get earrings and all and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like a Smoothie King or something like that.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at in America.
By the way, Omaha needs more tropical smoothie cafes.
We have Juice Stop.
I know, but Tropical Smoothie Cafe is we only have one, and that's out at Shadow Ridge.
It's called Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Yes.
Oh, I hadn't heard about that. I thought you were talking about the more general.
Yeah, I do too. I've never heard of it either.
Any Tropical Smoothie Cafe, the first day of summer, you get a free smoothie.
Whoa, hello.
Oh, nice.
Or you wear flip-flops in and you get a free smoothie.
Where else could I go to keep up with my theme of non-chain food court?
There's one that's still out there that I'm kind of surprised isn't off.
Well, you don't have any picks
I
anymore.
know.
Tell me, what is it?
The popcorn place where you can go get the different varieties of
Oh,
popcorn
yeah.
in a bag. And
Vicks.
I couldn't remember the name. Thank you.
See, but I'm a pretty generic popcorn guy. I don't like too much gunk on there.
Okay.
I don't like the caramel stuff. If anything, I'll splurge for a little cheese every now and then. But they always try to sell me when I'm at Midway Airport at the popcorn at the Garrett's or whatever it is,
Yeah.
or Nuts on Clark. They're like, why don't you just get the combo? And I said, no, I don't want the
You
caramel.
can get the 3-bucket.
I said, I don't want the caramel.
See, I'm not a big popcorn guy, but
You
I
get
know
the
it's a,
you get
I know it's a
the you
popular
get the yellow
option.
popcorn, you get the caramel popcorn, and then you can go the cheese.
I like a white cheddar popcorn.
Okay.
Thoughts, takes?
I think it's better than the yellow one.
Don't love it, but I
cheddar?
get it.
He gets it. Okay. Well,
So
sure.
I will not find you like you and your lovely wife head to the arts festival this weekend. You're not going to be hanging out at the kettle corn
I do
stand.
I do like kettle corn at the
Now,
carnival. Yeah.
Kettle corn samples. Now they know what to do.
I always get
You go to
that
the
giant
farmer's market.
I always
Handful.
get the giant bag of kettle corn from the pumpkin patch every year.
Smart.
And I've only got the turkey leg once. And I
It's
like
overrated.
I like
it.
it.
Set you back like $25.
It's overrated
That's
too.
okay.
Halfway through, your mouth's all dry.
Okay, Jimmy, I'll take it. I'll take the popcorn,
Okay.
whatever popcorn stand there is.
Sucker.
It really was.
It's kind of local,
Guilted me into it.
and kind of national. Panda Express.
Panda Express. That, I mean, yeah. You're only taking that because I got my Chinese restaurant already. I get it.
It's clearly the
Well, because
third best wide receiver in this draft.
a lot of times the Chinese restaurant that has the less line in a food court is the one that is not you've never heard that name before. They don't have a local like brick and mortar store. It's just they made up the name and now they're selling Chinese food in a food court.
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Miss-
We've
So-
come to you.
You know, I am looking. I'm torn between two here. I mean, somebody's going to get a great undrafted free agent out of this.
It's okay.
I'm torn between the Cookie Company and Amigos.
Ooh.
I would take the cookies if I were you.
Cookie is more
Do you-
mall to me,
you
but
have not
Amigos
ta-
is better. to
You have
me.
not taken a dessert option yet, though, right?
I have not.
He
I have-
has
I have
he has Auntie
pretzels,
Anne's.
That's
which
true.
can be a dessert if you wanted. I prefer
Great lemonades.
True.
Great lemonades.
I am going to go Cookie Company.
Mm.
Take the cookies.
Is that the equivalent
Nice.
of like when Washington took RG3 and Kirk Cousins in the same draft?
Yeah.
Kind of feels like that.
You got options. You got options on your
One of them's going to work.
Somebody said pretzel maker. That's a good one.
I believe that's
There's
of
Sony.
Anti-M's. It's kind of the same.
The Empire Mall in Sioux Falls has a good food court. Formerly Knoxville Chris, still Chris. Jordan Creek in Des Moines, in West Des Moines. Big food court.
Yeah, somebody said somebody did a tweet to us about how they had this is the same guy, Zombie Burger.
Mm.
Zombie Burger
I've eaten there.
It's overrated.
at the Jordan Creek Mall.
What are you talking about?
It's good. It's
Your
okay.
food takes are awful.
It's okay. Zombie Burger's okay.
I'm kind of with Jimmy on this
Yeah,
one. I would It was
think
maybe
got
overhyped on the way in.
Exactly. I think I got overhyped and I got there. I was like, it's just not a burger. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just overrated.
What do you guys get? What do you guys get when you go to the Mall of America for food?
I've only been there once, and I don't think I got food.
Oh, what? Oh man, you gotta cut out a whole day.
You got to go to Johnny Rockets.
Is there a Dick's Last Resort in Mall of America?
Yeah, definitely.
I think we ate there.
Yeah,
There's like every chain places in
you
Mall of
could ever
America.
imagine. Yes,
There aren't very like unique places.
We went there for like the giant Lego exhibit thing.
I'm always so at the actual food court, which is on like the 3rd floor up there. There's a whole bunch of pretty decent restaurants in there, but I don't ever get past Shake Shack.
Oh, you know what? I get a pass. Now I remember it was during COVID when we were there, and the food court was not open.
Food was canceled during that time.
Sad.
Very, very sad.
Can I ask the question that didn't get brought up here?
Amsterdam falafel in the food.
Does Costco need more food options in their food court?
No. They're doing just fine.
Are they okay?
They're doing just fine.
Less is more.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hot dog, pizza, ice cream.
Their slice of pizza,
It's the size of your face.
it's gigantic.
Yes.
It would cost like $2.50. I see people walking out of that store all the time with piles and piles of pizza.
Really?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
ice-
just like the actual full pies.
The ice cream
stacks of
parfait
them.
is a game changer too. They're pretty good.
Now, this didn't come up. The Westroads redid their food court
True.
Yeah.
to the flagship commons.
Yes.
Number of great establishments, but none
course.
of which you would think of as quote unquote mall food
Correct.
court.
Not those almost don't qualify.
That's where my
I
head
agree.
was in the draft process.
Unfortunately, it's great food. I go there often, and I get a variety of different things from there. Even the salad place.
I love the salad place.
We
They're huge.
we could eventually have a food hall draft.
Well,
Numerous food
that's
halls that are popping up around Omaha.
that's the way we're going.
What's the one over by you called? The rail?
Inner
yard?
rail?
Yeah, Inner rail. There you go.
In a rail.
They have
Pretty good options in there.
They have lobster.
yes, they do. They have hot dogs. I mean, basically anything you want. They have some places that come in and out, but also now they have an outdoor bar.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Brad says my son and I always hang out at Hooters while my wife and daughter shop at the Mall
At
of
Mall of
America.
America, yes. That is a
The Hooters is kind of tucked away in like a dark corner.
at one time that was the third highest grossing Hooters.
What is the what's the
That's not so. Behind what? Vegas?
In Fort Lauderdale?
in
the
Vegas, and then the OG in Clearwater.
Clearwater, sorry.
what is the what's the indoor mall across from Legoland and the aquarium in Kansas City? There's the mall right there.
The Crown Center.
Plaza.
What's the burger place that deserves delivered by the trains? That place is sweet. I forgot the name of it. Like they have like toy trains that bring your
Johnny Rockets.
That's it. Okay. Thank you.
They have a Johnny Rockets in there?
Yeah.
I haven't been in there in many
once
years.
you said the train that brings your burger.
Yeah, there's only one place.
Corey says the corn dog at Crossroads was bomb.
Ooh, that is a good take. They had like the extra breading in it. That actually
I feel
tasted
like-
like cornbread.
I feel like I got screwed out of the Crossroads experience because when I moved here, all the stores were closed and there was like a German museum. And,
Don't talk about Barnes and Nobles like
and
that.
a not even a store Chick-fil-A, just a Chick-fil-A employee with sandwiches in a warm bag.
Yeah.
And like you could walk through the Target into like where the museum and a craft store was,
And it looked
and
like a
that was
morgue.
Crossroads.
Yeah. I could not believe that place stood as long as it did. For how empty it was, for how long it was.
Well,
Steve tweets us a picture of the Johnny Rockets at the Mall of America.
Nice.
Look at all these people just acting like it's 1950 whatever again, getting their burgers.
Oh, the guy's wearing a paper hat. It's amazing.
That does add to the thing, though. It really does.
It was an experience.
I honestly think that's like half of the draw of In-N-Out.
America used to be like this, everybody.
They wear those paper hats and they talk funny. And they make the food very, very, very fast.
Bernie has tweeted in.
Hey, Bernie.
Gary and Jimmy had the strongest drafts. I'd give them both a B+.
Thank you, Bernie.
I gotta say, I'm looking at the graphic here at Happer Show. Gary's draft here, Orange Julius, Cinnabon, Panda Express. I mean,
when you think of
you have
all the food groups.
It's well-rounded.
When you think of mall food courts, that's kind of the who's who.
Mm-hmm.
Great wraps. I love great wraps. Nobody else would have drafted great wraps.
No, and you took it in the second round.
I did.
It's the Bronny James.
But you like what you like. You like what you like. You know, I saw a prospect that I liked, and I wasn't afraid.
Did
to just
anybody
grab
ever
him.
eat it?
It's like Matt Rule in a way. Hey, look, there's this big German guy. Let's take him.
Hey, why was the German guy at Oklahoma yesterday?
He
just loves football.
He's continuing because he's with this group, and they're just continuing their kind of tour, and he just keeps going. It's not like you're gonna hide him in a hotel for the rest of the summer.
Get him to Lincoln. Get that visa approved.
So apparently he's got to like go back home
Yes.
and get the visa approved.
He's got to finish out his employment at the local
At the drugstore.
CVS or whatever.
He is also an advanced woodworker. Apparently,
He's the most German human being of all time.
he also looks like Borat.
Slightly.
He does.
You're talking to Sip today, right?
And I hope this pans out because this could be a fantastic story. You have to put on a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
In fact,
he's only 260 or something like that.
He
right?
might have to eat a little bit when he gets to the training table.
If only there was some beef in this state.
Yeah. The fact that he's 22 is going to go a long way. Also,
Dave writes in.
Hi, Dave.
I'd go with Josh, but I wouldn't argue against Gary or Connor's draft.
Wow.
But taking Sabaro as your number one pick is equivalent to taking Sam Bowie or Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, shots fired.
I can't argue with that take.
Everyone's a critic, but when you're in the chair,
It's true. That's right. Microphone's on. 402-951-1620. Most important voice of all. Yours.
Cody says that the train place in Kansas City is called Fritz's, not Johnny Rockets. And then Steve tweets
I was
us.
going to say Johnny Rockets sounded wrong because
I
went to the Johnny Rockets in Vegas and there weren't trains.
Yeah, Fritz's Railroad Restaurant is what comes up.
Okay.
Fritz's Railroad Restaurant.
So are the waiters and waitresses dressed like conductors?
There aren't any waiters. You order at the table and
everything is on.
It comes via a train, Gary.
So that's what's coming here is the Amazon DoorDash delivery.
Yeah.
No, it's right. Like they're hoping by the fall that in Omaha you'll have the drone DoorDash.
It'll just drop off the bag right at your doorstep.
So this is how it happens. I've studied this.
People with broke down
So
cars
like,
all
let's
over
say,
Omaha
Josh,
are upset right now.
at 1 o'clock during the show, you're a little bit hungry.
Always.
You order the drone DoorDash delivery. The drone will fly to 50th and Capitol, and then it will, with a wire, it will drop your, order down outside of the door, and then up comes the wire and back into the drone, and the drone flies away.
I'm not tipping a drone.
No. It's the great part about it.
But it's probably going to cost more because of the quote unquote technology.
Right.
Paying for convenience.
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
It is a little more convenient not to have to deal with people.
Not really.
Well,
I mean, DoorDash,
that's
you don't
the
have to
beauty
deal
of
with
Uber
anybody.
Eats and DoorDash. I
Yeah.
don't have to deal with
Yeah,
people.
you don't have to deal
you
with
drop
anybody.
it at the front door and you go away. We don't have to converse.
Really? Is it
Yeah.
just me that these people stop and talk to then?
No. They drop it at the they either
just
take a
drop it at the
picture,
door
or they
and
let you
leave.
know they've done it. They drop it at your door.
The last
I
time-
would never.
The last time, the last time we had a DoorDash person come to our house, it was 10:30 at night. We had a long day. We got the girls' food. We hadn't eaten yet. We had food delivered. This guy stood there and talked to me for like 15 minutes. And I was like, dude, I got food. He's
You
like,
got to wait until he leaves.
Yeah.
Just tell him. Just say.
I happened to be outside with my dogs. He
Oh.
pulled in.
See, there's your problem.
He started telling me about what happened with the last delivery.
Oh.
It was awful. It's awful.
Yeah, you gotta stay in that house. Wait till he leaves. Then you pop out. You stick your little arm out the door,
And I-
grab
and-
it, and pull it back in.
At the time before that, it was like a year ago. We don't
Like a
get DoorDash
hermit.
very often. This guy knocked on my door. I was like, isn't he just supposed to? That's what I asked my wife. I was like, are they
Yeah,
supposed to just leave it?
well, I think you could ring the doorbell or knock on the door.
Yeah,
and
but he was like,
leave
oh,
it.
nice dogs, and was like talking about his dogs. And I was like,
That's the problem. You got to go inside.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
If you know you're getting a delivery, you got to go inside. No conversation.
no, he
with
knocked on my
anybody.
door. I came to the door with my dogs. He started telling me about his yellow lab.
See, that was your mistake. You did. I thought you were outside. You
No, this
came
is the
to
second time. This is the second time. The first time I was outside. The second time the guy knocked on my door and waited for me.
Yikes.
I know Jimmy has. Have you guys taken an Uber lately?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Did what time of the day was it?
At nighttime.
Okay. When you took your Uber yesterday,
Noon.
was it okay? Did you all immediately get a offer from Uber Eats?
Yeah. So it was put in by the dealership, but then it's like literally the minute the guy
Yep.
put in the location, I got an offer. This guy also accidentally drove to the drop-off location before he came and picked me up, which I thought was kind of funny, but it was not very far away.
So
Why do you have all these problems with all of the people?
because he's
that-
Jimmy.
Let me tell you about my day yesterday.
They lost his car at the place he was getting worked on.
What are you talking? How does this happen?
It was supposed to take me an hour, and then when I asked for clarification, they're like, "We can't find your truck." I was like, "Feel like there should be an explanation to that one."
Oh well, now I'm the most important person in the building.
They took it to another location. It was identified as another car that was supposed to be worked on at a body shop, but there was nothing wrong with the body of my vehicle.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was supposed to take an hour and a half. It took 6.5 hours.
Yikes. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's bad news.
But recently took an Uber around dinner time. Almost right after the Uber had dropped me off, I got an Uber Eats, and then an hour later for groceries.
I got a notification from Uber like 11:58 the Friday before Memorial Day, tell me to book my 11:58 at night to book my Memorial Day trip now.
Look at now.
Like feels like a really ill-timed advertisement.
Those emails just go, there. It's like me getting triggered when AAA emails us every year about how many people are traveling.
It's the most traveled Memorial Day weekend of all time. Be ready.
Brian's a nice guy.
Yeah, Brian
is the AAA.
Brian, I know you're just doing your job.
He's on our television crew.
Yeah, Brian, I know you're just doing your job, but
be less annoying.
No, it's not that I'm just. It's obviously the information he gets from AAA, the parent company, and I don't need to know that all these people are traveling.
The population is going up. Of course, it's the most traveled.
They are traveling.
Your parents never went to AAA you're going on a family trip and they put together the AAA book?
No, like I have AAA. Like I got AAA. Oh yeah, I got protection all over the place. I'm very well secure when it comes to my road trips, but there's going to be people. It's traveling time. It's the weekend.
It's warm. Yeah.
Anyway.
Minnesota just announced new uniforms.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The Gophers, not the Vikings.
Can I see them?
I mean,
they look much
nothing.
different.
It looks like the old one.
I believe they are the old uniforms, just in a different combination.
Certainly what it looks like.
Do they still have the or on the hat?
On the back, they do.
Okay.
That good indication that the hot seat for PJ Fleck is one.
I've always thought
just keeps moving backwards.
That Minnesota has great uniforms. I've always really enjoyed Minnesota's uniforms.
I do like their color combination,
their colorways and their combos over the last several years.
So, do you like solid on solid, or when they go like gold top, maroon pants?
I think I like their white hat, their white helmet the best. But their yellow helmet is cool too.
I don't like the gold helmet.
No.
The gold, that's what
I'm with you.
Did you see last week Illinois announced that they're going to be wearing?
Yeah, those are nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
those are nice.
But it's weird that we lived in an era where we thought the name of the team and then the underline, like the Giants had or Illinois had, was cool.
Well, it's cool again.
Yeah,
it's back.
It does look pretty cool.
It's back.
Now they used to have the big mascot on the side of the helmet. I don't think they're allowed to do that.
I don't think that's happening.
Illinois?
Yeah,
probably not. No, probably not.
I think those were the days of Tony Eason and Jack Trudeau at quarterback. They'd have the mascot on the side of the helmet.
All right. We good?
We accomplished a lot there.
We drafted, and now we can
congrats, guys,
go on about our ways.
Hope your season goes well.
Have a good weekend. Enjoy Super Regional Baseball.
Oh, we will.
Coming up in about half an hour.
UConn, Florida State first game?
Yeah.
Sure, it'll be 95 in Tallahassee with 96% humidity.
You want a little UConn action in Omaha, or you want a little Link Jarrett?
I'd rather have Link Jarrett.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well,
but are we choosing? Are we rooting north versus south? We have a lot of north versus south.
I think it's a losing battle.
Will Dan Hurley appear in the series?
Unlikely.
I think even if UConn was here, he would not come here.
That's a good point.
He's a baseball guy. He likes the Royals.
He does not like Omaha, though.
He loves the Royals. Maybe he wouldn't mind coming to Omaha in the summertime.
Maybe if Hollywood Hurley does not go and stays.
Hollywood Hurley.
What would be more of a trigger? UConn being here with him or Texas A&M?
With Trevor.
Trev Alberts.
People would be way too triggered to see Trev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking about.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get it.
It'd be that. I actually like Dan Hurley. I would appreciate hanging out with Dan Hurley for a little while. I hope he does stay.
What if UConn gets here and Hurley says, hey, LeBron, I got to do this thing in Omaha because I am still the UConn basketball coach. You fly halfway and I'll meet you in Omaha.
LeBron at the College World Series.
You can introduce me to your buddy Warren.
When Josh and I were representing the station at the NCAA tournament here in Omaha,
that's right.
When Davidson was playing and they made it to the next round, there was a rumor that LeBron was going to be in the house.
Duquesne.
With Duquesne. Yeah. I was going to say Davidson would be Steph Curry.
Duquesne, when they were playing in the second round.
Yeah, because he's bros with that guy. The coach.
We were disappointed.
We were.
Never happened. There's
rumblings.
How many times has there been a rumor that LeBron was coming to Nebraska and it never happened?
Oh, wait a minute. He played golf with Dwayne Wade in Lincoln, right?
Well, that was the College Game Day weekend. He was not here. He was not here.
No.
So that's at least
probably would have noticed.
That's at least 2 times where LeBron has caused a stir because the internet thought that maybe he had a chance to be here.
There have been a lot of people that have had cable television installed or has played golf in Lincoln.
Yeah.
That are quote unquote celebrities.
Indeed. All right, you guys enjoy your weekends.
See you, buddy.
Should be fun. That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Friday. We'll start things off next.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
I read a book about the idea of aliens being a thing. What is that, a new concept? Someone writing about aliens? No. It talked about if we're going to find aliens, how we hope to find them. Boy, that sounds like a really exciting book. It was a great book. I ripped right through it.
Sean, this is why you don't have fun. You don't allow yourself to wonder.
I wonder all the time. I wonder how I've made it this long being next to you two.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Sunshine this morning will give way to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. Warm and breezy today with a high in Omaha of 87 degrees and southeasterly winds up to 15 to 20 miles an hour. A chance of storms after 4 p.m., but especially after 6 to 7. A few of which could become strong to severe, including for the Omaha Metro. Our main concerns are damaging winds and large hail. These move out before midnight, staying mostly cloudy and warm overnight with a low of 63. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Funplex has asked me to give you a first-hand account of the all-new for 2024 Wipeout attraction.
Okay, hit it.
We're starting up. Spinning a little now. Whoa, a lot.
The centrifugal force is starting to stretch my face. Holy this thing's fast. Whoa, it's tilting. We have tilting. Woohoo! This is awesome. You got to try this. Get your tickets now at fun-plex.com.
It's golf season, and that means it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook right at your fingertips. Circus Sports Iowa. It's sports betting the way it should be. The odds makers with the lowest holds and the best odds for every tournament. Plus, high betting limits, exceptional customer service, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Get ready for all the biggest golf tournaments with Circus Sports Iowa. Visit circusports.com today. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you make an announcement that we're ready
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Good morning and welcome in. Happy Friday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Josh Odson with you. Happy Friday in the summer to you all. Speaking of which, an email from the Equitable Bank inbox from John.
Hi, John.
It is summer. It is Friday. Why is Connor on the radio? Interesting point.
I believe that's 2 in a row.
Two in a row. Thank you. And, next week on Friday, we won't have normal shows, but I will definitely be on the radio.
Yeah, you'll be working.
And in 2 Fridays, I plan to be here. So that's all I can tell you at this moment.
You're so committed.
I am. Even though people don't expect that of me, I am happy to be here for you all. I do for you.
Maybe there's a future Friday that you could have off.
Maybe. TBD on that one. TBD. All right. We welcome you in here. We have a busy show today. We're moving around in a bunch of different places. Our regular Friday guests, like Bryan Munson of Husker Online, will join us at the top of the 11 o'clock hour. Nebraska's got a couple pieces. Well, a recruiting movement this week with a commitment from the running back room, and also a commitment for their roster for 2024 as well. We can dive into that with Munson. Brian Christopherson at 11:30 from Husker 247. Stephen M. Sipple from Husker Online at 12:30. But also, there will be a special appearance, an in-studio appearance here on this Friday. Jeff Jarrett.
Double J, everybody.
The AEW is in town tonight across the river.
The show's tomorrow, but everybody's in town tonight.
Everybody's in town tonight. The show is tomorrow. Thank you, Josh.
Getting acclimated.
Across the river, live on TNT at the Mid-America Center. And Jeff's going to come in studio, and we're going to, who knows where the conversation goes.
Maybe he'll hit you over the head with a guitar.
Maybe. I hope so, just for the bit.
That would be a great bit.
Just for the bit. That'd be great. Honestly, this is a Josh thing. I am letting Josh take the reins on this because I have little knowledge of wrestling.
Sometimes that's better though.
But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to let Josh kind of drive it, and then I'll probably pop in it multiple times. I'll probably get really inquisitive as Jeff joins us for the interview at noon. In a little over an hour. And speaking of that, we already got a tweet from across the pond. We just said across the river. How about across the pond?
The global reach of the Connor Happer Show.
From Tom. Hi, Connor.
Hi, Tom.
Listening live from the UK to hear my best friend Jeff Jarrett on the show. Could you ask him about the guitar necklace he's bringing me at AEW All In, and ask him if he's decided on what to name his faction yet? Love the show.
Wow. Look at that.
How about that?
Global tweets.
The global reach of the Connor Happer Show gets a chance to really take off today with Double J in studio. That is coming up in a little over an hour. That is the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can email Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. And we say good morning to our YouTube streaming audience, YouTube/1620 The Zone TV, or, of course, conveniently located just a click away on our website, 1620thezone.com. Speaking of famous people that Josh knows,
I know many famous people. I have many contacts in my cellular telephone.
We've talked often about Josh's budding friendship with a certain comedian.
Oh, that's right.
There has been some movement.
I forgot this happened.
Tell me about your most recent text correspondence with Frank Caliendo, Josh.
Yesterday. Now, what a funny bit. Oh, you and Frank are friends. Oh, sure.
It's
sure,
real,
buddy.
It's so real.
Yes, Frank and I have not texted in a long time.
It's been since February, right? March.
Right. Yeah, I believe the first weekend in March. I received a text at 3:35 yesterday. Hey,
And it came up on your phone and it said Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo. Yeah, you save that contact. You're not, some contacts, like, okay, I don't need to enter this into my contacts. Frank's a
I'll
friend.
never hear from them again. But in this case, you will definitely hear more from Frank Caliendo.
Hey, I'd love to come on next week and plug that comedy festival if I can. Is that possible? And I said, Frank?
That seems like something a friend would text you.
Yes. Frank? Absolutely.
Absolutely, you can. It crossed my mind when Bill Walton passed that we should just have him on and do Bill Walton for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I would actually be curious, like, what happens when a person you do an impression of passes away? Do you retire the impression, or do you end up doing it more?
I would imagine that he did it quite a bit last week, because I think or a couple weeks ago, because I would imagine, like we talked about at the time, when Bill Walton passed away, it was more of like we have to celebrate this guy rather than we're obviously, people are really sad that we lost Bill Walton, but also the sense of it was, like this guy, lived a full life and he had a lot of things to say. So I would imagine that he did a lot of it last week in in a still funny manner. So we'll do that next week,
Monday
when Frank Caliendo is back on the Connor Happer Show.
That's
the next Connor Happer Show will include Frank Caliendo, and this Connor Happer Show will include Jeff Jarrett.
Nothing but illustrious guests.
This is amazing. And we're gearing up for the College World Series as well. Super Regionals begin in 15 minutes. UConn and Florida State with that exclusive TV window.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, every Super Regional game is on linear television this weekend.
Oh, really?
That's right. Nothing. You won't have to dive into ESPN Plus unless you're interested. Do they do a Super Regional squeeze play? I don't
think.
I don't know that there would be really a necessity to
maybe
do so
tomorrow,
because there's 4 games. Yeah, there's 4 games today, and then there's 8 games tomorrow. And then some of the regionals will finish up tomorrow. We could know theoretically half of the College World Series field by the end of tomorrow.
We won't.
Not.
Yeah.
We won't. But we'll know the majority of it likely by Monday when we hop back on with you guys. And then there still might be a few Super Regional deciders on Monday when we get going. But yes, we will preview that for the original intent of Steak or Fake, which swept the nation yesterday. Many people said, wow, this is so well thought out. You guys did such a great job with this. You even considered that when people call in on the phone and they say steak or fake, it sounds alike. You even considered that.
Definitely did.
I'm just glad that you guys thought about it. Somebody had to do it. So we will talk about Super Regionals this weekend. Mr. Yogurt, Nebraska's athletic director, Troy Dannon.
Ooh.
It's something to say. Okay, now we'll get to the details of it. I want people to know right off the bat that video that is making the rounds over social media over the last couple of days and the quote that is making the rounds over social media over the last couple of days, that was not said this week. That was not said all that recently in the world of college football.
Oh,
that was after that was spring game weekend or around that time. So things have changed since then. I think he got most of it right, but we'll parse through some of those things that Mr. Yogurt had to say. And we had game 1 of the NBA Finals last night, which
we sure did, Connor.
Briefly, just ever so briefly.
Interesting. I wonder if the game went the other way, if we'd be drinking my tears at length today.
You bet.
Interesting.
You bet. We indeed would be, Josh.
Not much to talk about. Is kind of over almost immediately.
Yeah. Well, until they blew the lead and then got it all back instantly.
What the hell was that?
See, this is why I can't trust that team.
Exactly.
This is why I don't trust that team.
I texted many people last night. Is it possible that the Celtics are dominant and haven't played anybody and cannot be trusted? And many basketball minds who I trust more than my own said, yes, Josh, that is possible. And then like 12 minutes later, I had to text them back and say, see, there's the Celtics I've come to know this season. And then they said, stop texting me. I'm trying to enjoy my life.
So there are some discussions
to be had. Alex in Lincoln writes in.
Hi, Alex.
Does Josh know ball? Sounds like you got a pretty good grasp on the Celtics. As good of a chance you got.
I want to read the take I had because I don't think I worded it quite right.
All right, so get to that. We get another text here from Jason and Pender.
Hi, Jason.
Would you please ask Jeff Jarrett? Now, if we could just crowdsource all these questions, that'd be even better.
I hadn't thought of this as a solution.
Would you please ask Jeff Jarrett if he's had much interaction with Mad Dog Vachon? Vachon. What's that? Was I not supposed to say that?
No,
Okay.
That's fine. I mean, that's one of Omaha's most famous wrestlers.
There you go. Mad Dog spent his later years in Omaha, so we could ask.
I don't. He is not with us.
He has passed?
He has not been with us for nearly 10 years now. But maybe he's asking, like, hey, in your travels. Not while you're here in Omaha this weekend.
Now, how do you say that? How do you say
Vachon.
Vachon. Mad Dog Vachon. See, I got to learn some things. I don't know ball when it comes to wrestling.
That's okay.
I do not know ball.
We'll speed you up. My text went as follows. Is it possible the East is really bad? The Celtics never played anyone good and are really good themselves?
All of the above, potentially. But we may never know. As Kanye said, I guess we'll never know because they're going to win the series in 5 games and nobody will think twice about it.
They have a 1-0 lead in the NBA Finals, only lost like 20 games in the regular season, and I have no idea if they're good.
And actually, I would add to that, Josh, I don't know that anybody actually thinks they're good.
Right. If the Warriors did this would be like, oh my God, that we'd be fawning over.
They're dominant. Yeah, it's interesting.
And that's not me as a Boston fan saying like, oh, you guys need to put some respect on the Celtics name. I'm telling you, I don't know if they're good.
Great question from Mike on YouTube.
Hi, Mike.
Were these Celtics texts sent to Frank Caliendo?
Maybe. I know he's a Milwaukee guy, probably a Bucks fan, but I didn't want to rub it in that the Bucks were not playing right now.
All right, quick timeout. Let's dive into a couple pieces of that when we return. Maybe we can find our way to an answer. Are the Celtics good? They're about to win the NBA Finals in the span of about a week here. We will return with a Friday edition of the Connor Happer Show next on 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
When it comes to protecting your home, Jay Stennett Contracting takes pride in ensuring every detail is handled. Roofing, siding, gutters. When it comes to the exterior of your home, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. Water, wind, and hail can wreak havoc on the exterior of your home. If your home is damaged, let Jay Stennett Contracting come out for a no-obligation inspection. If repairs are needed, they will help you through every step of the process. When you need an honest assessment, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. JSCRestoration.com.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistance, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hey, Omaha, on the hunt for tickets to the next big event? Look no further than TicketsForLess.com. Offering transparent, upfront pricing and stellar customer service, Tickets for Less ensures you're always going to score the best deal on your tickets. Shop online, swing by their store, 145th and West Center, or give them a ring at 402-398-1999. Plus, snag 10% off when you register on their free mobile app. Already a user? No problem. Just enter the promo code THEZONE for instant savings at TicketsForLess.com. Secure your seats and save big today with Tickets for Less.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And Josh's Boston Celtics took game 1 of the NBA Finals last night, 107-89.
People forget.
Over the Dallas Mavericks. Game 2 is not till Sunday. Game 3 is not till Wednesday. And then a game 4, a.k.a. the soonest this thing could be over, is a week from today, Friday. I expect we go a little deeper.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
A little deeper. June 17th. Which is a Monday, game 5. That is the scheduled date for that.
I expect a Luka game, a Kyrie game.
Yeah.
And
so
we'll
the question
go
is
6.
The question is how far? So are the Celtics good? This is a very complicated question. They are really vulnerable to doing some really stupid stuff.
Absolutely.
They blew a lead and then built it all back within the span of about 8 minutes during that game last night. It was enthralling to watch. But nonetheless, and hey, look, I thought the NBA Finals were Timberwolves and Nuggets. So, my NBA takes haven't necessarily been spot on this year.
You don't know ball.
But I do not see the Mavericks winning this series. I will say this, with Porzingis, the margin for error for Boston just gets a lot wider. We could be talking about a sweep. I think it's more likely that we're going toward 5 or 6, but there's probably a game or two where Luka goes nuts and starts staring at people and yelling cuss words at them. Kyrie, who is like probably the main figurehead, I guess, of this final, given his history.
He thought it'd be louder.
He was kind of stinky. The Mavs were building that comeback, and then he had a couple of travels and just bad shots.
Over 5 from deep.
Dallas was building some momentum, and then Kyrie kind of got in the way and tried to think it was Kyrie time. I don't think we're dealing with that serious of a threat from the Mavs, but I also didn't think that really in each of the previous 2 rounds for them. So who knows? But we thought going into the series, oh, well, Luka is the best player on the floor. And I think that's still the case.
I think that's still the case as well.
That's still the case. So they're going to, there's going to be a 50-point Luka game at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But can you do it enough to overcome
game 3?
Just what the Celtics have in terms of just 1 to 8, they're just a lot better. Right.
Yeah.
What we're dealing with Dallas is like, okay, it's Luka, Kyrie, and then
PJ Washington's a good player. Shaq meme. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was unfamiliar with your game until the Western Conference Finals. That's
Derek Lively.
Yeah.
Maxi Kleber.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yep. Can you name the other 2 starters for the Dallas Mavericks who are not Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, and PJ Washington?
I watched the game last night and I could not tell you if my life depended on it.
Derek Jones Jr., who's averaging 8.6 and 3.3 a game, and Daniel Gafford.
I don't know who those people are. That's on me. That's on me. I don't know.
You don't know ball, I guess. You don't know Mavs ball, and I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't think we're going to be here that long, Josh.
I mean,
we'll be here that long because the NBA games and the finals are so friggin' spread out.
Right.
But I don't think we'll be here that long in the potential of what we could be.
Porzingis showed that I am here. I am healthy. I'm not just gutting this out.
Yeah, Porzingis changes
it's the finals. Yeah. Which, quite frankly, it allows other guys to do other things because they're not having to rim protect. Like, it allows Al Horford to space out. Drew Holiday can focus on falling on the floor a lot. He's always on the floor.
He's good at that.
I like that, though. I like that. That's a positive way
Yeah,
to
he's
say it.
he's on the floor in a positive way.
Right.
Usually.
Like, they got rid of Marcus Smart, so they needed a guy who was constantly on the floor. And Drew Holiday's that guy. This is why they got Drew Holiday.
Jason and Pinder writes in.
Hi, Jason.
It's pronounced Kyrie. Are we back to making fun of Kyrie now? Like, is this whole thing going to set up to be just a victory lap over Kyrie at the end of the finals?
Feels weird.
No, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's
Stephen
right.
A. Smith, of all people, said, hey, you got to forget what this guy did, which that's wild. You were the guy who went after him hardest, Stephen A.
Forget seems like a strong word.
Right.
Maybe we can have it in the back of our minds, but I mean, Kyrie's greatest thing that he's done is he has shut up for like the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
He went to Dallas, America's like 4th largest city. No, Houston's Dallas
is up there. Yeah, it's top
Dallas
10.
is a big city, and he hid.
Yeah. He's decided to not say anything anymore because his takes are so bad.
It's really worked out for him.
Yeah. Catch me never hiding because my takes are so bad. No matter how bad people think my takes are. First of all, they'll never be as bad as Kyrie. I hope. My God.
Please.
The earth is flat. Other things.
It's amazing that that's not even really in like the top 5.
No, it really isn't anymore. I'm going to start waving sage all over the place. So when I did my tweet about Bruce Hornsby last night.
That's right. Terrible take. We're going to get to it.
We are?
Just like the Caitlin Clark story.
I got a tweet from Amazing Daniel, the now departed Amazing Daniel. You know, Amazing Daniel. He has left us. He lives in a different. He's not local Amazing Daniel anymore.
Oh! I thought you meant he is deceased.
No, he's alive.
Been commenting on the show all day.
No, he's alive. He's alive. But he did a good roast of me last night when I had my Bruce Hornsby take. For someone I generally like, you have some truly just awful opinions. It's a fine song. And I said, I think it's possible that The Way It Is by Bruce Hornsby is the greatest song of all time. Daniel of Music said, you just have some really bad opinions. It's a fine song. Nothing more. So sometimes I just, like, when I listen to music and the mood hits me right, I'm just like, wow, this is perfect. Like, the song matches the moment, well enough. I've been listening to that. I've been listening to that song a lot over the last couple of days. And then I'll get all crazy and I'll start tweeting about how the song is the greatest song of all time.
Because you want to share it with others.
It's almost a bit. It's like almost a bit. I believe it.
Mm-hmm. But
like, if I pop up in 35 days and I say, I'll just say this could be the greatest song of all time, because I'm almost sure that I've done it before. Another song is the greatest song of all time. Don't be surprised.
Got some real recency bias.
I like to open up the dialogue to people. That's all.
So I think
right along with All Night Long by Lionel Richie.
I think the Bruce Hornsby take is equivalent to your Kyrie and Various Religions of the World take, and your Jurassic Park and Twister are the same movie take is equivalent to Kyrie and various medical takes that he's had over the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
You think it was that bad?
It was not great, Connor.
They just occupy the same space in my brain. That's all.
Your buffalo chicken pizza take is equivalent to Kyrie saying he's doing this for the healthcare workers.
I don't want to have these Kyrie equivalent takes, Josh. Don't do this anymore. Okay. I just think they're takes that live in their own.
They do.
They live in their own.
most people forget.
And
That's our
I'm
job
not offending
to remind
anybody.
you of it.
I'm not.
No,
except for how bad the take is.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I'm not going after people. I'm just saying, hey, look, listen to this Bruce Hornsby song. Ian, who is of music.
Hi, Ian.
Don't go back on the song. Stay strong. I will. I think that song is great. I'm going to keep listening to it. And Mandolin Rain. Listen to the Mandolin Rain. I'm going to rock that all day. I want to learn how to play piano. That's what I want to do. I want to be the next Bruce Hornsby.
Also on Zone TV, I just want to point out this photo of Bruce Hornsby that I found. He's wearing an SEC t-shirt.
Wow. Connor's horrendous music take. Who wrote that?
That's the writers.
Theo writes in another classic take of mine.
Hey, Theo.
Basketball is greater than football.
That's right. You said that. That's a quote.
None of these takes.
That right there. That's a Connor Happer quote.
None of these takes are in the moment at all, and they lack emotion, of course.
See, I like that you feel things. I like that you, because it can be very easy to do a safe and easy sports show. Well, how do you think the Huskers are going to do? Well, I think they're going to be pretty good.
No, Josh, it's fine. That's fair. You could accuse me of being overly emotional sometimes. Sometimes I get overly emotional.
No, but that's a good
about
thing.
my Bruce Hornsby takes. Yeah. That's all. Anyway, we don't know if the Celtics are good.
And we might never know.
We may never know.
Jason Tatum, not even the first or second best player for the Celtics yesterday.
We'll definitely never know.
Keep a pin in that. That might come up later.
Actually, that maybe tells you that we do know that Jason Tatum just is fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good basketball player.
But he has a Kobe Bryant mentality.
Some people think that Jason Tatum is like the best basketball player, and some people think that that's just the way it is by Bruce Hornsby is the greatest song of all time. A lot of takes out there, Josh. We live in a take market, and I got a lot of things to offer. Bryan Munson is coming back. We will talk about the week in recruiting. Nebraska will host their first Friday Night Lights camp tonight. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? That and plenty more with Munson next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning. Host Coffee Services stands as the vibrant heart of every break room, offering the unique fusion of traditional quality and modern flair. We're not just your coffee provider, we're the center of memorable workplace moments. Call us today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee Services is always roasting something good for you.
Some people think business banking is only about transactions. But at Emprise, we don't view money as an end game. We see it as an engine. It's who we are. Transforming ideas into IPOs. Turning potential into profit. Emprise is next generation business banking, where we help money work for you, not the other way around. That's the power of possible. Visit emprisebank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
When it comes to concrete repair, Everlevel has some serious game. Coach Greg McDermott here to coach you on why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. They've got the fundamentals to fix your cracked and uneven concrete, and their products will give you the best defense against future damage. It's a fraction of the price compared to replacement, and their solutions come with a long-term transferable warranty. Working with Everlevel is a slam dunk. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today for your free inspection.
Introducing Modern Real Estate, the game changer in Nebraska's property market. With a competitive 2% commission rate, we're making buying, selling, and investing more affordable and transparent than ever. Our experienced agents blend local expertise with cutting-edge technology to provide top-notch personalized service to all clients. Don't settle for less when you can save big without compromising. Visit modernrealestateco.com and experience the future of real estate today. Modern Real Estate, redefining the way you do real estate.
Like eating out? Like saving money? Then get to Cops at 180th and Center, Shadow Lake Town Center, or 72nd and Jones for their daily specials. Tuesday is $3 off all burgers and sandwiches. Wednesday, buy any specialty pizza and get a one-topping 50% off. Then Thursday, all wings are $1 each when you order 10. And this just in, all Cops locations now offer their own delivery service. Click copspizza.com to see the menu. Cops. Pizza, and so much more.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Guys, let's have a conversation. Let's say you've been losing interest in your spouse. You got low libido. You can't focus on things. And you're wondering, what is going on? It may be low testosterone. Mentality is here for you. With their FDA-approved testosterone treatment, the board-certified physicians who work with most insurance companies, they can diagnose the symptoms of low testosterone and take care of it. Schedule an appointment today. Go to the website, lowtusa.com. Take back your life, man. Mentality, lowtusa.com.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Time out!
Bryan Munson.
Hey, long call. Comfy left Zoom Buster. 63 Bang Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger Y Wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show. On 1620 The Zone.
All right, Super Regional Baseball is on the air. Florida State and UConn starting us off today. We'll have a bunch of them today, which reminds me, we'll just use this as our correspondence as Bryan Munson from Husker Online joins us right now via the 42 Degrees Source Hotline. Munson, hello. How are you?
I'm doing fine, buddy. Baseball is in the air. I was out last night at a local Legion game. So beautiful night to sit outside and watch some baseball last night.
Yes, it was a nice night last night. So just so you know, because I'll probably forget to text this to you, your services are not required next week. We'll be at the College World Series. The shows will be very odd and not happening during normal time. So I'm sorry to I know you got to get your radio fix in.
This starts like a 3-week long weekend for him, though.
That's true.
If his appearance here with us starts his weekend, he's going to have a long weekend.
I'm first of all, I'm going to be in and out on mute with you guys today through my tears. So it's going to be very difficult for me to handle this. So, but I mean, at the same time, College World Series is one of the best parts of the year for me. I really do intend to come up here and just spend like 2 or 3 weeks and just hang out. But I'm in the middle of doing another kid with all the camp stuff. So we're up here for football camp ourselves. So.
It's there's a lot going on. So we'll be in contact, but yeah, our schedules are a little odd for the next few weeks. All right. Bryan Munson is with us. It's been a week in Nebraska football recruiting here. There's been some movement as Nebraska is ready to go with their Friday Night Lights series beginning tonight. Let's go back to the news of the week, though. We've talked about Jamarian Parker before, the 2025 running back who committed to Nebraska this week and it joins Nebraska's class. What I guess give us a sense of how high on Nebraska's board he is or was, or now will continue to be, and then ultimately kind of what led to him pulling the trigger before the summer begins here.
Yeah, well, I think Parker was a name for all of us to learn in January. I don't think he was on anybody's board at that point. I think many many probably suspected that with Connor Booth, there was probably in missing on Kawan Lacey, and having to take a portal guy last year, that there was probably a pretty good chance Nebraska is going to take 2 guys in the 2025 class. So it was just a question of who. And there really wasn't a lot of other running backs like on the board at that time. And then Parker shows up as a visitor for Junior Day in January. And so, and obviously he was still an Arkansas commitment. And it really kind of, it was like, okay, well, clearly this is a guy that's at the very top of their board, that they're really trying to get him in here, despite the fact that he's committed to an SEC school, one that's probably a little bit closer to him, Fayetteville to St. Louis versus St. Louis to Lincoln. So it was kind of interesting to see how this thing was going to evolve. But the way that it evolved was that obviously the assistant coach, the running backs coach from Arkansas, left Fayetteville and went to TCU in Fort Worth. So that was the first thing that kind of got the ball rolling. I think that there was a genuine interest in Nebraska had he not been committed to Arkansas. But then once the coach had left, the decommitment that followed, another visit to Nebraska during spring practices, followed by then an Alabama offer and an Alabama visit, which really had a lot of people wondering, how much Nebraska was really in the equation still for Parker. But nobody really backed off of anything, from the big national guys like Wilt Fong and Chad Simmons, to me and Sean and others, around, just the little lowly media guys kind of putting in our predictions from what we've heard. Parker was always the plan to be the other running back in the class. And I think the reason why is just because he's so different than everybody else that's on the roster currently. He can get to that front edge, on a zone read play, on the stretch play. He has the ability to kind of cut back, put his leg in the dirt, and kind of get upfield. He averaged 11 yards a carry last year. So has breakaway speed, has the ability to kind of do things in tight spaces. He's a guy I think Nebraska is going to try to find a way through several different ways to get him the football. They're gonna put him out in the slot. They're going to motion him out, on top of just using him as a traditional running back. So I think Nebraska got the kind of weapon that they hoped that they would get last year with Lacey, because Lacey was a very similar guy. And I think that this has really always been the hopes and dreams of Nebraska. Get a guy like Connor that can really run through the tackles, but he still has diversity and versatility. And then get a guy like Parker that is just this, above the top kind of guy that can stretch the field and get the ball to in several different ways.
Yeah, it seems like there's, I guess no running back is truly the same, but Nebraska's got a wide range of things that they currently have on their roster, and that they plan to have their, who knows what it's going to look like a year from now when Parker is getting ready to come to campus for the first time. But I mean, all of these different types of running backs feels like it's really, really a big piece to their plan and how they want to build that room.
Oh, totally. And I mean, I think people are excited about Dowdell. I mean, I think he was a little banged up in the spring game, and he showed that he can get to the front edge and he can turn upfield, and he has some speed. I think people are just, they feel good about Emmett Johnson, Ramir Johnson. The last video that just came out from Nebraska earlier this week, builds everybody's confidence in him too, because it seems like the rehabilitation process that he has gone through for his shoulder problem, he's, and his knee problem before that, it seems like he's really put some good weight on. I think Nebraska fans should be excited about where this room is going. Obviously it's going to take a year to kind of get those guys back on campus. You hope that things don't turn into like a Kewan Lacey kind of thing, trying to hold on to Parker, as things kind of get through October, November. There will be undoubtedly several schools that try to stay in touch here, and Nebraska is going to have to do their best to fend them off.
Bryan Munson of Husker Online is with us. Nebraska's coaches this week were in Texas for a variety of different camps. Obviously, I think the most notable news, I guess, is the gem that they think they found in Germany offensive lineman David Hufkin. But I want to ask you specifically about him in a second. Let's go to some of the other things that they maybe unearthed this week. Offers that went out that were intriguing to you on this week's camp circuit.
Yeah, there were some offers that went out. I don't think anything or anyone could have prepared me, however, for what happened with Hofkin. I don't think Nebraska kind of set out to try to find a way to still get a guy on the current roster.
Right.
That just seems still a little wild to me. There were some other players obviously that do stand out, but I mean, to kind of go back to Hofkin, because I think that the interesting part with him is his size. It's intriguing because, you know, he's a 6'7", nearly 260-pound guy that I think a lot of people are saying, you know, probably figures into that offensive line mode. But when you put him at the rush end position, and you still are taking a look at him there, he is a longer, athletic dude that I think could really challenge, you know, some of those longer kind of monolithic offensive tackles that are in the Big Ten. And I think that's a very interesting thing, because you do need a guy that can kind of just take on that guy and challenge him all day long. And Hofkin has the size, and I think he has the athleticism to do it. So I mean, I know that the hopes are here that they potentially found this, you know, kind of a gem, you know, laying around there that they can see putting on 45 or 50 pounds, you know, over the next year or two. But I hope that the door is not shut, is what I'm trying to say. I really feel like, having watched him, having him work, you know, maybe a little bit more time on individual pass rush skills would be something for him to kind of work on a little bit more. And the speed of the game is going to be a huge challenge for him. But I really do feel like he's got the tools to be a pass rusher.
Like this, this is interesting. That's I don't think the staff would be afraid to. I mean, they haven't been afraid with guys that they have inherited or that they have recruited to move some guys around from a positional standpoint in their first year or so here. But I mean, to speak more to that, I think, Munson, like the confidence that you have to have in your player development track to take a guy who, you know, is 22 years old, hasn't played a lot of football, and especially hasn't played a lot of football over the last few years of his life, to see him at a camp and say, yeah, I think we could, you know, there's really something that we could do here. I think you have to have a lot of confidence in your operation to say, yeah, this is a project that is worth working on, and Nebraska actually, it seems like they really love that idea. Like they thrive in those environments.
To echo that just a little bit further, think about what Nebraska must feel about the holes in their roster to do exactly what you just said. Pick up a guy that hasn't played football really competitively in a 3 years and think that he can translate to the Big Ten game in maybe a couple of years. It is really a fascinating story that Nebraska was able to find a guy like that and felt good enough about going ahead and bringing him in to get him to get ready to start developing his body and developing his game to help out Nebraska in a year or two. It's really a fascinating story.
All right, so June, couple Friday night light camps coming back on Nebraska's campus over the next couple of weeks, and while it's hard to kind of, I mean, I'm sure there's a few recruits that Nebraska is going to be watching extra closely that they're already actively, you know, having conversations with. A lot of this, I feel like, is a more broad, general, like it's an opportunity for the coaching staff to either, you know, identify, and I think mostly that's what it is, guys in the 2026 and 2027 classes, and even, you know, potentially beyond that, identify and obviously build relationships with players you already have relationships with. But I feel like where they're going to make a lot of their money over the next couple of weeks is figuring out who are really the guys on your radar for next year and beyond. Like, what are you watching for in this period of a couple of weeks here?
No, I totally agree with that. I think you're always still keeping an eye out, because I think that Nebraska has to feel very good about where they're at with the 2025s. I mean, they did just offer a safety yesterday, you know, out of Ohio. I think Nebraska feels like they have maybe a weakness or two, like in their secondary and maybe at the edge position. But for the most part, I mean, you just saw Douglas Utu leave, you know, a 4-star offensive tackle. They've got several other offensive linemen coming in. You just got your running back. I think Nebraska really overall feels very good about their 2025 board, but they're going to keep an eye open, and you saw Nebraska basically bring in some guys last year for summer camp that I think to them, they felt like, well, these official visitors that were just here on campus a week or two ago, they're the same size. These guys actually tested just as well that were just here. And they clearly, have this fondness for Nebraska that maybe the other guys didn't show, or that we feel like we don't have as big of a challenge to kind of get these guys in. And plus they're more, we know how coachable they are. We've worked with them all individually. So guys like Rex Guthrie and Quinn Clark, et cetera, Jake Peters, they're all players that shined last year at summer camp that they got those offers. But I do feel like this year is more about next year and the year after.
Yep.
I'm hearing that we're talking about 300 plus kids tonight. So it's going to be a huge camp, honestly, and very competitive. Jet Tamala will be there. Clearly things are dialing up the competitiveness for that 2026 quarterback slot. They offered another one this week. So it should be a very, very good camp, and Sean and Sip will be there on the field tonight, and we'll have some reports about it later on this evening.
Those guys are everywhere, man.
As long as Sip doesn't forget his suitcase, I think he'll be all right. He will be anywhere, but just don't give him too many things to think about when it comes to packs.
That is a great way to put it. We're going to talk to him in an hour, and we will probably spend the entire 15-minute interview just asking him questions about how it's possible that he did what he did, even though I know the answer, and that he's simple.
That's not a being from Columbus trait. I want to emphasize that. I was able to get here to Nebraska and not forget my luggage, being from Seatown. So that's something that you gotta throw that out. That's more of a Sipple thing.
All right, Munson. We appreciate you dropping by as always, my friend. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch up soon.
Sounds good, guys. See ya.
Bryan Munson of HuskerOnline.com. Recruiting is about to hit a bit of a fever pitch, I would say.
Busy June. That's what I've heard all week long from our guests. Busy June.
Busy June. It'll get real busy after tonight with the little Friday Night Lights action. And there'll be offers that'll be sent out. It's like, ooh, interesting. We're going to have to talk to this guy. And then the two recruiting stories this week have been really pretty interesting. Obviously, the one with Hufkin is incredibly interesting. And what Nebraska feels like they could do with him. But we could talk a little bit about that with Bryan Christopherson, who will join us on the other side. Some other kind of non-recruiting items as far as Nebraska football is concerned. I want to take a quick second and mention this. So I always look. So Nebraska baseball, they put out where their players are going for summer leagues this year, and I always take a look and see if anybody's going to the Cape. Speaking of.
I was wondering if that's what you were talking about.
I always take a look and see if anybody's going to the Cape or anybody goes to the Northwoods. So two Capers this year.
Couple of Capers.
Jalen Worthley will go and play for the Harwich Mariners, and Dylan Carey will go play for the Falmouth Commodores of the Cape Cod League. Northwoods guy, that's usually like a little bit of a younger but still really talented league. Looks like Nebraska's got 5 guys going there. Gabe Swanson, Rhett Stokes, Hayden Lewis, Max Butenbach, and I think there was one more that was in there. Case Sanderson. So there's your update if you care at all about any of that. I was parsing through the list as we were talking to Munson there. Let's take a quick timeout. By the way,
FSU back-to-back dongs.
Yeah, so a 2-run home run. A 2-run home run, then a solo absolute monster shot.
Monster dong.
Florida State leads UConn 3-0 in the second. It appears as if the wind is a factor at Dick Hauser Stadium today.
Scoring not at a premium.
Well, we'll see. Usually in these Friday games, the unders, the pitching is pretty good.
Right. You'd think you'd be shoving your ace out there.
Looks like the ball's jumping.
Okay.
A little bit. So we'll see if UConn can answer. They're down 3-0 already. This is the Mike Farron regional as well.
Yes,
Mike
he's
Farron
on the call.
All right. Quick timeout. Bryan Christopherson joins us next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
This is something that I've been very cognizant of living in Omaha. Because I think Nebraska athletics, whether it be trying to gain new ticket holders, new donors, new interest, yes, winning matters, is they need to be better in this town, like more visible.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Sunshine this morning will give way to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. Warm and breezy today with a high in Omaha of 87 degrees and southeasterly winds up to 15 to 20 miles an hour. A chance of storms after 4 p.m., but especially after 6 to 7, a few of which could become strong to severe, including for the Omaha Metro. Our main concerns are damaging winds and large hail. These move out before midnight, staying mostly cloudy and warm overnight with a low of 63. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
Hey, it's Happer for the FanDuel Sportsbook, and finally, it's time. The NBA Finals are here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win alongside the champs, because right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with a winning $5 bet. $200 to use on same-game parlays or live bets or so much more during the NBA Finals. So, think about some player props for Game 1. You could go that route, or you could go with a straight-up over-under, a straight-up side, whichever way you want to play it. Put yourself in great position to get that $200 in bonus bets. That's with any winning $5 bet. Get on the action right now with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Just head to FanDuel.com/Happer right now to get started and take a shot at an extra $200. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
How powerful is Cox Fiber? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Omaha jam like you're all in the same garage. Introducing Cox Fiber, from the company with the fastest download speeds 9 years in a row. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Limited availability in select areas. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence in Las Vegas, Omaha, Phoenix. Fixed median download speeds Q2 2016 to Q1 2024.
Funplex asked an AI assistant where you find ultimate summer fun. And, well...
Funplex. Nebraska's largest water park and rides. Now with the brand new spinning, tilting Wipeout. Tasty treats, special events, private cabanas, and more. Probability of unforgettable fun, 100%. Funplex is the best choice for an all-in-one day of summer excitement.
So, see you at Funplex then?
I am a language model.
Yeah, fair enough. Get your human tickets at fun-plex.com. Let's go!
You're going to feel a puff of air.
John's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton, Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED.
and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to Hims. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through Hims.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through Hims.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Hey, Brian. Bryan Christopherson.
I gotta take this a tap.
B. Rye, B. Rooney, drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right. It's Friday. We're joined now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline by Bryan Christopherson of Husker 247. Brian, hello. Happy Friday. How are you?
Pretty good. Your best song ever tweet got me thinking a little bit last night.
Oh, yeah? What'd you think?
I thought it was a fine take, but my silly song that I would say is "Come a Little Bit Closer" by Jay and the Americans.
Okay, yeah,
which picked up some steam after I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But I grew up listening to the oldies, and that was always my favorite song. So it was one of those things where when people started to like it because of the movie, I got kind of territorial about it. I don't know if you've ever had something
Yes,
like that,
definitely.
where you feel like people are kind of treading onto something for reasons that it's like, you didn't know about this for the last 20 years. So that's what I get with music sometimes. But I thought your take was all right.
So
people are busting your chops about it.
Well, what you have to do is you have to, like, it's not definitively the best song of all time.
No,
but you make it sound like it's like mildly definitive, and that's where people start getting very, very angry. They're like, "Have you heard any songs?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, but this one just hit me right now." It was an emotional take. I will admit that.
Sometimes you're sitting at like a restaurant bar or something with somebody, and a song comes on, and it's just like in that moment, you're like, "That's the greatest song that was ever made." I know how that goes. Like you know, they'll be like, I had my record spinning like a Sam Cooke record one night.
Oh yeah.
And I might have had a glass of wine or something, and I like, this is the greatest singer of all time. I know sometimes I do think that. He's not a bad
Sam Cooke is awesome.
Yeah, it's not a bad opinion on that. But there are times when you start to think like that.
There's no consensus, and I don't think there will ever be on the greatest song of all time. So whatever gets thrown out there is probably just going to be somebody's.
What's the song? I've asked this on road trips. We don't have to answer this right now, but people can think about, what's the song that if it came on the radio, the highest percentage of people of all backgrounds, all ages would let it play without turning the radio? That's a road trip discussion for you sometime.
It sure is. That sounds like something that you just need to leave out there blankly and just, ask the board, BC. The board will have takes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we don't need to go over that now for the whole segment. But anyway, I do have an answer, but I'll get to it at another point.
Okay. All right. Good. Let's check out Husker 247 for a little bit of that content maybe later on this afternoon.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. So I've been talking about running backs this week. Nebraska got a running back commit, and there was the Husker video that they put out of the new Chasing 3, which featured Ramir Johnson. It got the wheels spinning a little bit on running backs for Nebraska. So the way that they currently have it set up, and I think we've discussed this before, it seems like they got like a 3-headed approach right now, potentially even more. I wonder who else kind of inserts their name into that conversation as we get closer and closer to the fall. But I don't think it doesn't seem like Nebraska is going to have a 1,000-yard back. They're not necessarily approaching it from the standpoint of we have a workhorse and this is going to be our guy this year. Do you like that? Do you like how it sets up in the context of the rest of Nebraska's offense and how they intend to approach things this year?
Yeah, I'm fine with it, especially because I mean, I don't believe they've necessarily got that like Amir Abdullah or whomever, that's just like clear above everybody else to the point where it's like, oh, you got to feed that guy 27 times a game. I think Rule, that he said this, they're always cognizant of like, wear and tear, especially now that the college season has gotten longer and you want these guys to have careers after Nebraska too, if possible. So you don't want to take off all the tread on the tires. So I think they've spoken about, I can't remember what the exact numbers were, but you get into that sort of like maybe one guy gets, 17 carries, another gets 10, another gives you 5, that sort of deal on a given Saturday. And I think that can work well. One of my favorite things of the spring in the running back topic was when Rule spoke about Ramir and reminding himself and the staff, like you gotta go back sometimes and look at what this guy has done with the football when he's been allowed to not just be a niche player, but a running back, and just, you think back to like the season where, they played at Oklahoma and Ramir had a big game, had a big explosive play, some good yardage after contact. Michigan, he had a huge game in that 32-29 loss. When he has been healthy and touched the ball, he's had quite a bit of success. And so you got to keep that in mind. And I think, be willing to lean into that some, and it sounds like they are. Obviously, a big topic will be how Gabe comes back. I know when we last spoke to him at the end of spring, he was confident he was sort of going to be ready in the summer and in the fall, so we'll see if he is full go. If those guys at the same time stayed healthy, and Emmett Johnson, I think people, he won people's respect last year with the way he just kept going after it. It's not a bad room, do they have that like dynamic guy? That needs to be proven, but they have good guys, and now they can try to prove to everybody that, one or two of them are great, and can get those extra yards that sort of settle things. So, and we'll see if somebody is a surprise. Last year at this time, Emmett Johnson was like 4th or 5th down the list and ends up being the main guy like in October and November. So, I don't close the door on Dante Dowdell or somebody like that, if an injury happens or maybe he pops up 2 weeks into fall camp. You always got to keep that as a possibility.
So to take this a step further, I wonder how that impact, the way in which they approach that room impacts Nebraska's offense as a whole, given that this year, the first time in a while, Nebraska's had varying different, setups as far as their offense has been concerned over the last several years now. But they will not have the built-in advantage of the quarterback run game. At least they don't intend on, really leaning on it as they have at some points over the last few years. And so I wonder if they can figure out a way to run it conventionally and, replace some yards that they obviously had to go to in the quarterback run game last year with the setup. Like, does it seem like a pretty good fit for you and how they're going to, use this offense?
I don't know. One way that they might be able to get some of those yards that they won't from the QB's feet is in the short passing game. And you think about like some of the stuff we saw in the spring game where you have like Bonner, who was, a hybrid fullback last year, and he's out there with the number 1 wide receivers. You give it to a guy like behind, a short screen basically behind Bonner, have him sort of lead block out there outside the hashes. That may go in the book as a passing yardage for Raiola or whomever the quarterback is, but in a way it's like it's the old Texas Tech. There's some extension of the run game in your passes there. And that's a way to get sort of some layups also in the passing game where you complete some passes, bring that percentage up. It does, I think, feed a quarterback's confidence. And it's also a way to help what you're talking about, I think, as far as, they probably won't have that QB run dynamic just like they have had it. Although I do think Dylan and some of those guys can run it a little bit when you need to.
Yeah, he can extend.
You could throw, Harburg is really a nice wild card that you can throw into the mix just to throw at a team too. If this sort of settles how we think it might, So I definitely think there are some variances they can do that we didn't see last year that can be an upside for this offense to sort of combat the loss of yardage that you might not have from a running QB.
Okay, and so that led me, and I'm with you. That led me to this thought process on what a statistical line could look like for one Dylan Raiola this year, and then I started thinking about what all the other quarterbacks had sort of given them. Let's start, because I feel like this is now going to become an even bigger factor this year, given I think Nebraska will throw it and use that short passing game to their advantage. Do you have a number in your mind or a ballpark in your mind on the percentage of passes that Dylan Raiola needs to complete this year for Nebraska's offense to really work? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
that's always, I know I can't think of the number that Satterfield gave last year. That they actually have a specific number that I'm going to look up now after this is over. It doesn't do us any good at the moment. Is 60%. I'm thinking on the fly here a little bit. I'm thinking about where this offense was, right? I mean, like last year.
Last year they just completed. I think it might have been a hair under 50, Brian.
Yeah, it was right at 50 basically. Like Harburg was 49. I know that for sure. And then it might have been a tick over 50 or right at it there. But yeah, so if you bumped it up like 10 percentage points, for a guy's first year, that would be pretty successful. Now, I don't know that maybe he doesn't see that as that. Maybe he's thinking like 65 or something like that. I mean, once you get up to there, you're doing really well. If you're like, I always thought like 63 and above was okay. So, I mean, that's the numbers that you want to start tracking toward, though, like above 60%.
Yep.
And then, that's like the platform, and then see where you can go with it. This makes me want to go back and study the numbers again. I know I've had these numbers in my head at one point, but like Glenn Thomas, I think has been pretty effective with some guys' completion percentages in first years, which gives you hope that can be a reality. And obviously, like what I was talking about earlier, like if you can get that ball out in space, to one of your fast receivers, and you have some good blockers like Coleman and Bonner in front of them. Tight ends clearing space. That's an easy way to pick up that completion percentage and get, 10, 12 yards on a play. I like that in the spring, Dylan Raiola was asked about like throwing the ball downfield at one point in a press conference. And he kind of went out of his way to stress, I got guys who can make plays, and I know that. I just got to give them the ball. And I thought it was a very mature answer of understanding this doesn't have to be all about showing off my arm and like, look at this throw I made 50 yards down the field. If I can get it to Isaiah Nayor in space, and he has that giddy up extra gear where, he takes it 28 yards, it looks the exact same in the stat sheet as if I dropped a dot, 30 yards down the field. And I just liked how he responded to that as a young guy.
Totally agree. I think that number, if we're talking about completion percentage, could really creep up there this year. In an ideal world, he's probably up above 65% or something like that. I think that makes this offense go.
60 might be a low number. I know. I'm just, you're thinking about a complete, like you're shifting your mind completely from what we saw. And now, like, how can it be like with the first, it's really a really fascinating thing to kind of think about and try to place exactly where that's going to end up.
It's a totally different passing game. And then it changes the run game, obviously, as well. Okay. So you marinate on that, BC, and then throw out your question of your road trip song that nobody wants to turn off. Put that on the message board. Would you like to tell us yours?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I think the answer is Billie Jean by Michael Jackson.
Nice.
Would be the most. It's got to be somebody who, again, this is
good
like
for all generations.
Everybody that's out there, like all ages. And I understand the baggage that comes with Michael Jackson, of course.
Yeah.
But still, the beat comes on. A 68-year-old sitting there, a 24-year-old sitting there, whatever your background may be, I think it's an MJ song. Now, you could debate which one it is, and maybe someone wants to debate that it's not a Michael Jackson song, but I think it is. So that's always been my answer is Billie Jean.
I like it. I'm certainly not turning it off. That's for sure. BC, have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bryan Christopherson of Husker 247, asker of good questions.
That's an excellent question.
He had the chat stopped in their tracks.
Yep.
Like, whoa, hold on. Let me think about this.
And then people were mad that he just posed the question.
Like, nope.
Said, I've got one in the chamber.
That's what makes him good.
And didn't deliver.
You got some notes to take on clickbait there, Josh.
Yeah, that's good.
Mr. Click.
BC.
Click, click, click. 5-0 Florida State in the bottom of the second. They are crushing the ball. They also hit another home run. It appeared to be a home run that they ended up calling foul, that they went back and reviewed, that they had no angle on, and they ended up, sticking with the foul call. So they could have more than 5 at this point in the bottom of the second. They are up on UConn. Don't forget, Jeff Jarrett will join us in just a few minutes, but first, the odd news on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning.
How does Host Coffee Services provide the best coffee for your workplace? By finding the richest and most robust coffee beans from all around the world and bringing them to our Nebraska roastery, where your coffee is roasted fresh and delivered straight to you.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee Services is always roasting something good for you.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. 2 locations in the old market right off of Jackson Street and also in Benson right next to Taste of New Orleans. One of the toughest things about the summer is trying to figure out what you're going to do with the kids, right? You got to fill some time. It's a great time to go visit either one of the Ted and Wally's locations. Your kids are going to love getting some ice cream. You're going to love getting out of the house. It is a win-win for both of you. So whether you're going downtown and checking out the old market and getting you some ice cream or going to Benson and getting some Taste of New Orleans, stop by and tell them Severe sent you.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistants, entry into markets not available before, ability to expand and contract with changing market conditions, and a benefits package for you and your employees. Contact Bob at IBEW Local 22 for additional details at 402-980-7596.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called Select Quote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with Select Quote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call Select Quote 1-800-670-5151. That's 1-800-670-5151. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-670-5151. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
A text from the 402.
Hello, 402.
Behind about an hour, but I think we need to start adding punishments for Connor every time he makes a sweeping declaration about a team winning in the future and is dead wrong. He told us Nebraska was definitely making a bowl game with 4 games left.
That's true.
He tried to cancel the Nuggets and then tried to swing the other way and cancel Minnesota. And now the Celtics will win in a maximum of 5 games.
Oh, no.
So that's bad news for Josh.
No, this is the one you need to be right on, Connor. This is your slump buster.
According to the lineage here, I'm never right.
Damn it.
You have so many takes.
Maybe you'll get, maybe on Monday's show, you'll say, I think the Mavericks are going to take this.
It's really like sports betting in a way, right? If you just get about 60%, you're going to be rich.
Just don't go 0-25 when betting on Pittsburgh Pirates games.
If you're a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Especially if you're a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skeens, I know you're listening.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
All right, Josh, what do we got today?
We once again return to the Chicago White Sox television broadcast booth. They lost their, I think this is the 3rd time this week. A breadth of content over there. They lost their 14th game last night in an embarrassing...
In a row.
14th game in a row. In a rather embarrassing 14-2 fashion to the Boston Red Sox, setting an unfortunate franchise record in the process. Before the game, your best friend,
John Schriffen,
said, today's the day. The losing streak ends today. I believe that's how he opened the broadcast.
Once again, a great example of a guy having no pulse for the people who watch him on television or for the team. Read the room, John.
So I told you they lost 14-2. After the game, Steve Stone, for some reason, doubled down and said, you can keep 14 up there. It's going to stay there because Garrett Crochet wins tomorrow.
Okay.
That would be today.
Now I am more inclined to trust Steve Stone.
He knows ball.
But let's be honest, they're both just throwing trash at the wall.
Just gassing up a fan base.
Whatever, throwing something at the wall. Sorry if I sound like I'm drunk for the next 2 hours. I'm huffing fumes right now, but we'll get
by choice. Well, we're happy about it.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine.
Yeah, these are good things.
Yep.
And I think for the 3rd time in the last week and a half, we go to Michigan, where the guy who zoomed into his suspended driver's license hearing, he said, I was told everything was good, so I went driving again. The state came back, or the county or whatever, and said, wait a minute, you've never had a driver's license in Michigan or anywhere in America. What is going on?
A double bluff call. It's rare.
Corey Harris, who went viral in the aftermath of a court video conference gone wrong, had another court appearance this week and actually made it in person. This time, His Honor dropped a bombshell about Corey's driving status, though. Judge Cedric Simpson kicked off the hearing saying he wanted to set the record straight. Corey Harris does not have a license in Michigan or anywhere in the good old US of A. After some back and forth with the attorneys, Judge Simpson dropped another bombshell. He says Harris has a bench warrant for a different driving offense back in 2015.
Oh, boy.
And they immediately took Harris into custody.
Oh, man.
He paid the fines and I believe got out, but
that did not work out. He tried.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to double down, but he did.
Yeah. So awkward.
Yikes.
And finally, Connor, we end the odd news in Florida.
As we do.
A Florida woman was arrested after calling 911 on herself while trying to steal a car from a dealership so she could, quote, do it legally. Christy Turman, 37 years young, called the Lee County Sheriff's Office because she wanted authorities to know. She said, quote, because I'm trying to steal a car that's not legally mine. So y'all better come make a report. I'm reporting this. Deputies arrived at the dealership a short time later, where they found Turman exited the driver's side of a stolen Toyota Corolla. 37-year-old told deputies she was being trained in a game of black ops to steal a car, but called authorities to make the carjacking legal.
Were there drugs involved? Yes or no? Drum roll, please.
TBD. Feels pretty safe to say yes.
Yes.
I mean,
if
for the record, that does not make it legal.
When you get it from the cops and the report says suspect claimed that they were part of a black op that is very top secret and you wouldn't understand, there's drugs involved. Almost 100% of the time. Almost 100%.
Because I'm black ops.
I would say 100% of the time.
Or they're a huge Call of Duty fan.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Shout out Kyler Murray.
It can be both at the same time.
I suppose, but it's unlikely that it's a real black op.
Right.
All right, Josh. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
That is indeed the odd news. Our guest, I think, is here.
In the green room, I'm told.
In the green room. Tony asks, is Double J going to be in studio? Yes, he will.
Yes.
Who's Double J, you ask? Well, everybody else already knows. Jeff Jarrett. AEW's in town this weekend. He's going to be sitting right next to us, and it's going to be Josh time.
Everybody loves Josh time. Back-to-back Josh times?
Next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win, no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all, $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, take 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed. Quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. Circasports.com for details. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Take me out to the rib shack.
Take me out with the crowd.
Buy me some ribs, brisket, and some mac.
I don't care if I never get back. Let me eat at the rib shack.
In every bite there's a win.
For it's 1, 2, 3 slabs you're in at the old Rib Shack.
Rib Shack Smokehouse, 108th and Q.
Hi, I'm Nick Bromell, owner of Royalty Roofing. The recent storms wreaked havoc on our community. Our team at Royalty Roofing is here to help. We're local, skilled, licensed, and bonded. We work for you to ensure you get the funds you deserve and make sure that the work is done to your satisfaction. Don't take risks with your biggest investment, your home. We are Better Business Bureau Integrity Award winners and Best of Omaha winners. Cover your roof with royalty. Visit us today at royaltyroofing.org.
Looking for tickets to the hottest events? Look no further than Tickets for Less. TFL has tickets to everything from college baseball championships to Husker football concerts and more, all with no hidden fees. Plus, score extra savings with promo code THEZONE now at ticketsforless.com.
Introducing Modern Real Estate, the game changer in Nebraska's property market. With a competitive 2% commission rate, we're making buying, selling, and investing more affordable and transparent than ever. Our experienced agents blend local expertise with cutting-edge technology to provide top-notch personalized service to all clients. Don't settle for less when you can save big without compromising. Visit modernrealestateco.com and experience the future of real estate today. Modern Real Estate, redefining the way you do real estate.
Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha frequently conducts clinical trials for a broad range of investigational treatments. Velocity is currently seeking participants to wear a Fitbit watch for 31 days with compensation of up to $200. Some other current studies include low T, COPD, flu, pediatric, infant, and RSV. They also perform vaccine studies for people of all ages. See current trials at velocityclinicaltrials.com, compensation for study-related time and travel, and find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you, and we are pleased to be joined in studio by Jeff Jarrett, the AEW. The AEW is in town. Collision is here on Saturday over at the Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs, and this is Josh time now.
Saturday's a great night for fighting. Am I right, Jeff?
Connor, I just want to know. I'm sitting here looking at the screen for those who don't know this. It's the Connor Happer Show.
Yeah.
And you have Jeff Jarrett under my name,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you have not Josh, producer Josh.
Josh wrote that.
So do I have to call you producer Josh, or can I just call you Josh, or can I call you Slapnuts?
It
What
would
do
be
you
an
think,
honor to be
Slappy?
called Slapnuts.
All right, Slappy, let's get this interview going. The Mid-America Center tomorrow night. We're kicking things off. Josh, are you going to be there?
I am going to be there.
You going to take a guitar shot? Who do you want to get beat up by, other than Connor?
Honestly,
I'd be happy to hit anybody with a guitar.
I don't know who's going to be there, but a guitar shot from El Kabong would.
Look at him.
It would be a dream. It'd be a dream.
He's loving it. He's loving it. We're off to our relationship's getting off on the right foot.
No, he was asking about, so this is the Connor Happer Show, and you're Connor. He's talking to me. You get top billing on the show, and he's wondering why Josh doesn't get any sort of billing on the show.
They throw you no love.
And we have to call him producer Josh.
We already have a Josh. I need to differentiate
That's
myself
true.
from the afternoon Josh.
We have multiple Joshes in the building. That is part of the problem.
We are in Omaha. Oh, no disrespect. I'm just kidding. Hey, guys, we've talked a minute and a half, and we hadn't brought up Nebraska football. I'm just letting you in on something.
I know. People are tuning away.
What are your
right now.
takes?
Yeah.
Nebraska football. Are they back?
I'm an SEC guy. So if we want to talk about SEC ball,
Many
Big
call
Orange,
Nebraska the Tennessee of the Midwest.
Yeah, they do.
is that a compliment or
It's not.
Let's get into that conversation then. Draw me the analogy.
Both
that we
were
don't
very
win.
successful in the 90s. The great fan bases who long for glory again. A return to the promised land.
I apologize. How's y'all's coaching situation?
It's better now.
Who's the coach?
His name is Matt Rule.
Oh yeah, okay.
Matt Rule. He was the coach at Baylor. He was the coach of the Carolina Panthers for a couple of years. Didn't go so well.
Yeah. Okay,
But
all right, so-
he's good. We like him so far.
Josh, can I ask you a personal question?
Please.
Because you will understand this. What's his name? Matt Rule?
Matt Rule.
Is Matt Rule right here today? And I'm talking about not yesterday, and don't project in the future, but today, is Coach Rule a baby face or a heel?
Oh, he's a baby face. White meat baby face.
Right now.
Yes.
Hey, we got to let you in on Connor.
What are you guys talking about?
That's a good guy. They like him right now, huh?
Oh, yes.
Has he had great recruiting class?
He's got a 5-star quarterback.
He has it.
You didn't answer my question.
Wow, look at this guy.
A great
Is the class. Good?
Class.
Mm-hmm.
College football is all about numbers.
But the quarterback is a pretty big deal.
Oh, you think? I'm new to this football
We really
talk.
like that guy.
Will he start?
He's going to start this fall. Yeah.
Well, we don't know.
He's going to start.
It's a
A
competition.
true freshman coming in starting?
Yeah.
True freshman.
Where's he from?
He's from
Texas.
Many places.
He's from many places.
These kids these days.
Originally Hawaii, then Arizona, then Georgia. He was going to go to Georgia. Nebraska
So
got
his
him at the
parents-
last minute.
Did his parents move around? And
His dad played here, Donovan Raiola. He played at Nebraska.
Played for
in
the
early
Lions for like a
2000s.
decade.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the hopes are on a freshman quarterback. Let's think about that, guys. The state of Nebraska.
When has that ever failed?
Oh, I mean, the odds are great, guys. Are you kidding me? Aren't we supposed to be talking about Collision? AEW Tix, that's TIX.com, or
right.
Ticketmaster for the easy way to go about it. Tomorrow night, doors open at 5 at the Mid-America Center. Show starts at 6, and Josh gets his ass kicked at 7. I mean, Collision starts at 7.
Yeah.
Hey, whenever I'm called upon, I'll be happy.
Okay.
Now, gas up your guys a little bit. Who are we going to see tomorrow?
Oh, boy. FDR. I consider them today probably the best tag team in the world. They're going to be taking on Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, Blackpool Combat Club. We've got Timeless Tony Storm. We ought to Google Timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah,
we're here.
Google this.
She's going to be taking on Lady Frost. And
Excellent
then,
gimmick.
And we have Gimmick. That's her persona.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry, sir.
My gosh.
I just wanted to impress Jeff Jarrett.
It's but Orange Cassidy's taking on Kyle O'Reilly. That's going to be, I don't even want to call that a sleeper match. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, those are the matches that were announced. I'm sure there's going to be much more announced. Stay tuned to at AEW on all social media platforms or at Real Jeff Jarrett. I'll retweet the stuff. But big night, Collision scene, not just if you want to be on TV, not just in the United States, but around the globe. Our show is seen in literally all over the globe. So it's a huge night. Pretty proud to be a part of here doing the media day, but we're bringing AEW Collision. We were just in Denver on Wednesday. We head to Des Moines next Wednesday, but our stop on our Saturday nights, all right, for fighting here at Council Bluffs.
And if you
call
can't-
it the MAC, is that kind of the local
Yes.
terminology?
Yes. If you can't make it down there, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to make it down there, but if you can't make it down there, then you watch on TNT and you watch Slapnuts get a guitar bashed
Boom.
over his
That's
head.
right. I'll be
Sound
there.
good to me.
Josh, we're off and running.
I
man.
got stars in my eyes.
We got to yeah, you'll have them after that for sure. Got to sign the waiver.
Who, throughout the course of your illustrious career, took the best guitar shot?
Ooh.
Oh boy, probably have to narrow it down to
That's fine. Multiple
to 3.
names is fine.
Okay, let's start with the fabulous Moolah. I mean,
Okay.
a 72-year-old woman taking a nice guitar shot. What could go wrong, right? Right, Connor? I mean, that's it.
I got a lot of things to Google.
Yeah, you did. Well,
You're going to go down a YouTube rabbit hole.
Well, you are going to go after that. Did you watch Different Strokes growing up?
No, too young.
Never heard of
He's
it.
a
Yeah,
tiny
you're
baby
a
boy.
kid.
I've
You're a
heard of it.
kid. Yeah.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
What you talking about, Willis?
Oh yeah,
He took a nice shot in Buffalo with the Buffalo Bills in attendance.
Gary
yes.
Coleman.
And then you always got to circle back to probably the most well-known, and I like to tell this story that I've got 5 kids, 4 daughters. My youngest daughter came home in middle school a couple of years ago. She's a freshman in college, so date that 4 or 5 years ago, and she's like, "Dad, what is this? what is this? And who is this?" You familiar with the one and only Beetlejuice?
I am on. He was a Howard Stern guy.
You're ready to go. Who
Yeah.
doesn't know? So Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
he ranks right up there in the talk. Producer, hey, producer Josh,
Yes, sir.
what's your favorite guitar shot?
Oh,
Do you have one?
on the
Go
spot.
in that YouTube rabbit hole if need
wow.
Come on, Slapnuts.
I mean,
be. As you're thinking about that, you've got to work in Nebraska football because people.
oh, wow.
Has there ever been a Nebraska football related guitar shot?
Oh, I have cracked back in the WCW days. I cracked a Cornhusker over the head, a Cornhusker cheerleader. Google that one.
Oh no!
All right. You got to find that, Connor.
Yeah, that's gonna go on the stream somewhere.
I have a question in here about your kids. I am told Taylor Swift babysat your children when they were young.
Man, oh man. What do you think about that?
I need to know what that ask is like because she was in the neighborhood or something, and you just ask?
Let me tell you the real story, or let me just dress this one up. I mean, we negotiated about price. I got her down to $3 an hour, a minimum of a 10-hour stretch. It was a late night. No, all kidding aside, we'll call her a family friend. She's from Hendersonville. She's actually from Pennsylvania, but as a young kid, the whole family moved down to Hendersonville. I'm from Hendersonville, bedroom community of Nashville. We became friends of the family. Just a girl, a sweetheart of a girl. And I lost my first wife to breast cancer. And kind of during that time, she bonded with the girls. And so she would come over. And so technically babysitting may be a little stretch, but she spent lots and lots of time with them and would take him over to their house. They go out on the lake or bake cookies or do what girls do. So
amazing.
I assume you saw what everyone sees in her now.
You know what is kind of fascinating about her is that she played at our house one time, just playing around the family, and it was during the holiday season, and one thing led to another, and two friends kind of live in a small community, and by the time she got done, there was probably, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 people in our house, and she just played for a couple of hours. But no,
the word spreads fast.
Her ability to communicate, whether it's with a 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid or with an adult, even as at that time she was a teenager. I mean, she's just very articulate. You guys have been around kids, and we were all kids at once. It's hard to look an adult in the eye and carry on.
Who lives with me
to carry on a conversation. She was always mature beyond her years, and obviously her business acumen, she had it at a very young age. Her father is a big part of that. Raised great parents, and so she's got a brother, but both of her parents obviously very influential on both sides. But at the very end of the day, it's talent. If you can craft a hook and a song like that,
she's got that.
Yeah. Does your freshman quarterback have that intangible that you just can't coach, can't teach, just wins championships? You see how I hooked back in there?
Yeah, where on the
I went
Taylor
from Taylor
Swift
to University of Nebraska football. We're not going to lose any listeners during this interview.
We're going to get so many clicks.
Remember the name Dylan Raiola. They just you go home with it. You tell all the people in Tennessee, you say, Dylan Raiola. I know about this guy. The people in Nebraska were telling me about Dylan Raiola.
For real, you're putting him on that level.
I don't. Yeah. Let's just do it. Let's just say yes.
He seems, from everything we've seen, to have been born and molded to be an NFL quarterback.
We've jumped all the way to the league.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about national championships in this new playoff format. We're not even talking about, hey,
Heisman.
You can understand why Jeff would be a little skeptical.
You just went straight to NFL.
I'm just telling
what
him,
year is he inducted into the Hall of Fame? Just what year? Are we talking 2050?
Amount of years?
Yeah, so 15.
Okay.
They'll name the stadium after him before his senior season.
No pressure on the kid. No pressure on the kid. What is our record this year? 2 questions. Do you guys have an offensive line?
Yeah, I think.
Oh my God! He didn't come out with yes. He threw his hands up in the air for folks who are not seeing us on streaming.
This is a point of contention.
You are so full of crap, Connor. You can't even get yes out.
It's a point of contention around here. I maintain yes. I think their offensive line is at the very least good.
Such a teeter-totter yes.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to have a take. Yeah. Hell yeah. They got an offensive line.
Oh well. Okay.
Where's that guitar? I'll smash the guitar over the head of the offensive line.
Did we mention that the crossover is powered by? No, we won't go down that.
They'd love for you to read that.
It is. Yeah, we can cut it out and use
I'm not going to read it unless I get paid.
That's
pal.
right. That's
you want to get paid? You'll be down at the Mid-America Center tomorrow. AEW at Collision.
AEWTix.com. TIX.com.
They don't call you producer Josh for nothing.
I know why you're here. And with respect to why you're here and who you're working with now, allow me one deviance, if you will.
Hey, rapid fire. I'm trying to keep you guys going. I mean, we got to talk Nebraska football.
Did you know that the offensive line coach?
Oh boy,
is
Taylor Swift's uncle? No, I didn't know that.
Even better,
close.
The quarterback's uncle.
Wait, say that again.
The quarterback who we just talked about, who's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, it's his uncle.
Is what?
He's the offensive line coach.
He's in charge of protecting his nephew, Jeff.
So when he gets busted, sacked on his ass 7 times in the opening game, he gets to go cuss his uncle out?
That's right.
Yeah. That is a great Thanksgiving dinner just waiting to be had this year. They're going to be like 0-8 at that time. Oh, that's going to be great sitting around the table. Thanksgiving, turkey time. Yeah, he's going to be sitting over there, probably a bum elbow, one shoulder bad.
It's like, you did this.
Concussion protocol. Thanks, Uncle.
Way to go.
Where do his parents live? They live here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. They're around.
I believe
nobody lives in Omaha.
They're quite mobile.
Whoa.
I got to be a heel, Judge.
That's right. What was it? What was it like getting the call that, hey, we're gonna put you in the WWE Hall of Fame? Because came as a shock to me as a fan.
Buddy, it came as a shock to me as an inductee. And there's some video of it. I was kind of dumbfounded. at that time of my life, I'll say is a real low point from a personal point of view. And it was the first Sunday of 2018, and what a way to start the year off. And some folks know my wife. She is a part of the AEW team. She has been by my side for many years. And it was a Sunday morning, and she was getting ready to go to church. I was already ready, and I walked in the bathroom and told her, I said, "Hey, I just got a phone call." Of course, she's not going to listen. She's worried about we're running late and this and that. Are the kids ready and all this? I said, "Well, do you want to know who it's from?" She's like, "Yeah, are you about ready?" I said, "I'm ready." Just that whole, you can imagine the conversation. Mm-hmm. I said, "WWE." She said, "Oh, really? What they have to say?" I said, "They want to induct me into the Hall of Fame."
Wow.
And I kind of walked out, and she's just like, "What?" Anyway,
you slow played it.
It did. It was, but I mean, I'm very grateful. It's an honor, and my grandmother got into the business in 1946. She didn't wrestle, but she did everything but wrestle. We would call her, she worked her way up to what you'd call a CFO today. My dad wrestled and promoted. So I'm a third generation. So when I really looked at it, and I said it that night on stage as part of my speech, I feel that, not only did I go in, but my dad played such a monster role on it. He was there that night watching it. And my grandmother, obviously she's passed away, but she was a part of it in so many ways. So it was I'll call it a real cool family moment.
It seems in professional wrestling that there's all those grassroots stories. There's there's so many of them. Got into this, and we're talking about third and fourth generation.
Well, when you
I've picked up on some things.
Well, that's amazing. But no, when you kind of look at it, you're just talking about your quarterback that's going in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You just said his uncle and his father.
Yep.
Okay, he's second generation. It's truly one of those things. Bankers' kids become bankers. Lawyers' kids become lawyers. It's in our kind of wacky world of professional wrestling. It's one of those things that, in the 60s and 70s, it was a regional kind of business. And now that it's truly a global business, those things are so much more aware. And you see second and third and, even fourth generation. So it's pretty cool to kind of see that. And it's one of the things that again, I'm one of 5 kids. So I'm the only one in the business. But when I grew up, I was always mesmerized. Like, "Dad, who'd you say's coming over?" "Son, I told you to go outside. You've got this chore and this chore." And I'm like, "Yeah, but no, go do it." And then as soon as somebody pulled in the driveway, I conveniently, mower's out of gas. I'd walk in, "Hey, let's go." But I was always enthralled by it, mesmerized by it. And I think that's part of the reason why we see now the second, third, and fourth generation.
And you very briefly played your dad in the Iron Claw.
I did not play him.
You did?
No. He was just, I know, but he played that, and that was. Did you see it, Pete?
I did.
Would you, Pete? Josh?
You can call me anything you want.
I saw it. I don't see any movies.
Connor, what did you think about it?
I thought it was very good.
Okay.
Really? I went in totally blind because as we've established on this interview, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know.
True. So and also you don't know wrestling.
I don't know wrestling. I don't know football. I don't know many songs people have accused me of. Yeah. So,
guitar shots.
I liked it. I liked the movie. It was very sad.
Dark.
Obviously.
Really dark. Yeah. And look, as you just said, my dad was a part of that movie and the end of it. So I lived a lot of it and witnessed a lot of it. And it was disturbing. I watched it on a plane not long ago, less than 3 weeks ago. And I told Karen when I landed, she's like, whatever. And I just said, I finally watched the movie. What'd you think? And I said, super dark. And I get it. It's Hollywood. It wasn't completely accurate. That's cool and all that. But it was disturbing. A really, really, to me, such a tragic story. And at the very core of it, it's addiction, for the boys, no matter how you slice it and dice it, died of addiction.
Star Wars Fiend here on the YouTube chat is requesting some old school WWF talk, Josh. If I could, I
wanted to talk AEW.
Oh, you're talking AEW. I don't know.
Did you say AEW TixTix.com?
Have you heard about this? Yes.
Many are going there to get their tickets. Why haven't you gone yet?
Exactly. It's a great question.
Fire away. I'm an open book. Whatever you want to talk about.
Okay.
Oh, he's stumbled. Look at this.
I'm going to go a different way. Tell us how good the current AEW champion
there we go.
Swerve Strickland is. I think he's special.
Buddy, you hit the nail on the head. He's got a very unique talent, and when you kind of see, you will be able to relate to this. When you combine an in-ring talent And I'll just say the presentation with Prince Nana and the music and the hook of the song and the match that he had against Hangman, it was in the Forum out in LA in November, was really, really a show stealer in so many ways. He's on a roll right now. And I think a lot of people on the one hand will say, oh, it's a long time coming. And then on the other hand, they're like, man, he's really, really good. But I think in a lot of ways, I'd love to hear your feedback on this, pal, is the AEW roster. When you really look at it, it's really never been, to me, a roster like this ever in the history. We're going into Forbidden Door, and that's where CMLL, it's a Mexican promotion, New Japan Pro Wrestling, obviously Japanese promotion, and AEW. It's three promotions kind of combining for a big super show. But when you look at our roster, we have luchadors, we have Japanese, we have the best British wrestler, maybe of all time, great Americans, Canadians. Our roster from top to bottom, we have legends, we have rookies, and everything in between. It really is the combination, to me, to give it a little sports talk, of a championship team, because our 8-hitter can hit. That we don't have any holes in our. We got offense, we got defense, and we got special.
You got special teams too. That's been.
Do you have an O-line though?
We've got my uncle, who actually no.
So you're going there.
Well, now Connor, not a wrestling guy, but he's a baseball guy.
Yes. Oh,
you have
Vandy. Vandy has won a few championships.
Vanderly, the Whistler.
Who's that?
There's a guy who supports Vanderbilt baseball.
Oh, that comes out here.
He comes out here every time they're here, and he just whistles really loudly.
Very annoying, I bet.
Incredibly.
You kind of like, this guy's from Tennessee. Let's punch
that's
him
what
out.
everybody knows about about Vanderbilt fans. They have the Vandy Whistler.
So let me ask you, being that I'm not per se, I love baseball. I'm part ownership in a Woodbat League.
That's where I was going.
Prospect team in Springfield, Illinois. Look, man,
All right.
I just finally connected with Connor.
I had to get my guy Connor engaged in this.
Thank you. So, but I'm more on the marketing and promotion side. Imagine that. But how's our Vols going to do this year?
They're the number one seed. They're the number one seed.
Such a plethora of information. I'm asking his opinion. He goes, well, they're the number one seed. No, how are they going to do, my man?
Well, they have what it takes.
They're just playing Evansville this weekend. It would be a massive disappointment if they don't win.
But let me say this: they have broken through before and gotten to the College World Series. They've been the best team in the country before, and haven't found out a way to really win the big one.
I mean, they just pulled in Nebraska over and over, right?
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying? Will you go to the World Series?
We will be very much at the World Series.
Do you broadcast the show from there?
We do. Yeah.
Do you get thrown out when you get rowdy?
We are entrusted with broadcast, like literally broadcasting the College World Series.
It emanates around worldwide from here.
Yes.
Get out of here.
This room.
Yeah.
This room.
Yeah.
Well, one of those rooms.
I love it.
Yeah, this building.
If you don't work in wrestling talk in at least 50% of the games, I'm going to be so disappointed in you.
There you go.
Our play-by-play man, who's also our afternoon host, John Bishop, is a giant wrestling.
Oh, here we go.
He's a big honky-tonk man guy.
That's good. He'll take a good ass whipping from the Last Outlaw just as easy as you will, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You might cross paths with him on the way out. I don't know.
We'll bring it
might
on.
be getting here soon.
I imagine there's a couple people who heard you're in the building and will be
interested.
So the World Series is from here.
Yeah.
I mean, this room. Wow.
Starts a week from today.
Yeah.
Go Vols.
Go Vols.
Good old Rocky Top. Can you sing?
No, not a lick.
Then sing Rocky Top for us.
Oh,
there we go. There we go.
Oh, Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee.
There we go, Connor.
See? I'm in.
You're in, pal.
This has been great. Thank you for stopping by. Please tell people again.
AEW tomorrow night. Collision. Doors open at 5, Mid-America Center. Show starts at 6. Collision goes around the globe at 7 o'clock. You can get your tickets right now at the box office, Ticketmaster.com, or AEW Tix.com.
Also, Josh has a new nickname.
Slap Nuts.
That's right. I am Slap Nuts.
I like it.
This is great. I love it.
You look great today, pal.
Jeff, thank you so much for
I enjoyed
by.
it, guys. Really did.
This is fantastic.
Can I ask you to do one thing?
Please.
Just say go Vols.
Sure. I can say go Vols. Go Vols.
There we go.
Can you say go Big Red?
So, AEW Tix. Go Big Red.
There we go. There we go. All right, that is Jeff Jarrett. Once again, AEW Collision tomorrow at 7 o'clock at the MAC in Council Bluffs. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Clouds continue to increase for your Friday afternoon with the high today in Omaha of 87. A bit breezy with southerly wind gusts up to 15 to 20 miles an hour, and a chance of storms increasing after especially 6 p.m. Moving into the Omaha Metro, strong to severe storms between 9 to 11. 80-mile-per-hour winds, large hail, flash flooding are all possible with an isolated tornado, unable to be ruled out. A low tonight of 63. Partly cloudy skies for your Saturday. Cooler tomorrow with a high of 77. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
There is only one constant in the universe, and that's change.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
I'm sure many of you remember the incredibly low interest rates that were available only a few years ago. Well, things changed. Now rates are higher. But would you believe me if I told you there was a time when people were paying double-digit rates? And that's the thing. Everything changes. Rates go up, rates go down. So if you're waiting for the perfect time when rates drop before you buy a home, you might miss out on the home you really want. So when you think about it, what's a thing today might not be a thing tomorrow. See? Change is good. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists, and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
Score free gifts for the greatest dad this Father's Day at Lowe's. Get a free Select Cobalt tool with your purchase of a 24-volt max battery 2-pack. And get a free Select Craftsman string trimmer or leaf blower with purchase of a Select V20 push mower up to a $149 value. Lowe's knows dads. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/12. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Some people think business banking is only about transactions. But at Emprise, we don't view money as an end game. We see it as an engine. It's who we are. Transforming ideas into IPOs, turning potential into profit. Emprise is next generation business banking, where we help money work for you, not the other way around. That's the power of possible. Visit emprisebank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
All right, folks, we are back. Thanks to Jeff Jarrett for stopping by. Do the thing with the doubles, Josh. Do
JEFFJARRETT. That's how he introduced himself back in the day.
Bing, bada bing.
Ain't I great? He would always say.
And
the crowd would go, boo, no, you are not great, sir.
So he was the heel.
He was the heel.
Oh,
he was the heel country music star. And then when it looked like the good guy was about to get him, he'd pull that guitar out. He'd hold it high in the air, and everybody knew what was coming, but the ref and the good guy didn't know. And then bam, right over the head.
He would bash it over their heads.
Yeah.
Josh,
it would explode into a million pieces.
Josh, when he said you could potentially get a guitar bashed over your head, how did that make you feel?
Connor, all week I've known this was coming, and I wanted to ask, but I said there's no way he would just hit somebody over the head with a guitar. And I believe when he went to WCW, very briefly, they wrote slap nuts on the guitar and hit you over the head with the guitar.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That might be it for you.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't ask this guy to hit me over the head with the guitar. It's like a legal liability. There's no way he would entertain the idea.
I've now received many texts from many people in my life who are just disappointed that they, either didn't know we did a bad job at promoting, probably as we constantly do, but weren't invited. What? Schaefer is very angry. Mike Schaefer has tweeted into the show now. Might boycott the show that I was not invited to be a part of this. I always tell people, Josh, that we have an open door policy.
We do.
Here at 1620 The Zone, or at least us at the Connor Happer Show, featuring Slap Nuts. So, I don't know. I feel like that's more on Schaefer.
Yeah. I mean,
should I have not asked the question about the WWE or the WWF? What was that?
No, he seemed fine with it. I'm sure he gets it everywhere he goes.
Okay.
I wanted to plug the reason he was here. And I know a lot of people wanted to, talk about the good old days of the 90s and the 2000s when he was, making towns left and right in this great nation of ours. But he's here to promote All Elite Wrestling, AEWTix.com.
He is. Which is
I wanted to be gracious about that fact.
Tomorrow, once again,
That's right.
at the Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs, AEWTix.com. Jeff's awesome, man. What a great character. And you get to see that show tomorrow. And it always surprises me, the amount of people that are I almost feel like when I talk to a wrestling guy, I am kind of missing out. So now I feel like I need to get into it, but
it's a lot of fun.
I have a lot of work to do.
You have a Peacock subscription. Just get in there.
I have received a text from Sipple that reads, "Now, ready now." This might be him calling right now. No, it just hung up. So, but Sipple is ready to be approached. Now, I would imagine Steve Sipple also falls into the category of people that when we tell him, which we will do here in just a moment, that we just had Jeff Jarrett in studio, he would be like, "Whoa, Hap, wow, are you? No." So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna see how close I was. That was my moderate fake Steve Sipple, right there. Sipple, good afternoon. Hello.
Oh boy, tight schedule, but I'm glad this worked out. How are you doing?
I'm also glad it worked out. I'd like to tell you something. I don't know if it means anything to you, but we're about to find out. Do you know who Jeff Jarrett is?
Jeff Jarrett?
Yes, the wrestler.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I would have guessed
I had him pegged wrong on that one. Well, he was just in our studio promoting his wrestling event that is in town this weekend, AEW.
Oh God, that got uncomfortable.
Well, not as uncomfortable as a adult man leaving his entire suitcase at home. What happened? What's going on?
I just went out the door without it. It's not that interesting. But I've had the conversation in my head many times. In that circumstance, if it happened, don't panic. It's not a big deal. It's really not. There's a moment of panic that you feel that quickly dissipates because you think, I can just go buy some clothes. I mean, it was like a 3-day trip. Doesn't have to be a freak show. It's summer.
You know what, Sipple? I am actually totally with you on this. I don't think that I'd forget my suitcase on the way out the door, and that's the difference between you and I. But I agree with you that it's not the biggest deal in the world if you do. You could always replace the stuff and get. I mean, it's not like there's not going to be stores in Houston,
right? And especially this time of year, I mean, it's really not a problem at all because you just go into Target and buy some short pants and buy some T-shirts, and they're cheap. The shorts weren't cheap. The T-shirts are only $8 a piece, but they're nice. They're Target T-shirts. The shorts, those were a little more expensive than I wanted. And there is the toiletries, and there's the underwear, and there's the socks too, so it adds up. But still, it's $134. I mean, it's not going to kill you.
Well, the question that
I hadn't bought short pants. I haven't purchased short pants probably since like 99 or 90. So now I got a whole set. Yeah, I got a whole set that's good.
So the thing that we were also wondering about, just from a technical standpoint, functional standpoint, when you buy the entire new wardrobe, do you have to buy another suitcase to then bring it back with you?
No, see, I ran into problems on that. That was a problem. Not a big one in my mind, but it seems like the people around me, I just thought, I'll just have the Target bags. I'll have a Target bag for for the clothes that are on that I take off, and they're like the wash bag. And then I had the bag for the new stuff. And I just thought that would be good. And it turned out to be good, except when we were coming back, I shoved most of the stuff in my computer bag, so it wasn't that big of a deal there. But I still had some stuff in a bag, a Target bag at the airport. I left at the airport coming back. So my jeans were in there that I wore there.
You left your new wardrobe at the airport?
Yeah, I left the clothes that I had worn, the only clothes I had on my back when I went to the Omaha airport. I put those in a bag, and I left that bag at Hobby International in Houston. So
on accident?
Yeah, totally on accident. I don't know. We were kind of late. We were running late. I guess I'm just not used to having a bag like that. And I just took my computer bag, I'll call it book bag, and took off, and then realized when I was sitting at the gate about ready to go, I was like, oh, great. I left my favorite pair of jeans and a belt and a shirt, but whatever. It's not that, and then that's not even a big deal, really. It's jeans and a belt, basically, that I'm talking about.
People are just hearing this for the first time. It went straight by me, but I've known that you've called shorts short pants for basically my entire adult life now. So that one didn't surprise me, but people are caught off guard by that.
Short pants?
Yeah, you call shorts short pants.
Yeah, I mean, I have my entire existence, I think.
You have. As long as I've known you. It was a surprise the first time, but now it's been 10 years. So I'm just like, I don't really think about that anymore. It's just Sipple talking.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's the story.
Okay, that's good. I'm sure you've covered that 40 times this week on your
not 40, but it's somewhat informative to people. I just say don't panic if you get to the airport and you didn't bring your clothes. As long as you have your wallet and your phone and the clothes on your back, you get to your destination, and you just got to build into your trip a trip to a Target or wherever you want to go.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you on that part. It's no big deal. But it's not preferred, but it is no big deal.
Not preferred.
No need to panic. But outside of that, outside of the adventures of getting there, you guys have had a lot of great stuff from your trip down to Texas, covering a variety of different satellite camps. Obviously, there was the kind of I guess, newsy item of the week, which is Nebraska's addition of David Hufkin, the German offensive lineman, which is, I think, significant in and of itself, or interesting at the very least in and of itself. But like when you think about the conversations you were able to have this week with Nebraska coaches or other people, what sort of comes to your mind first?
Well, there's a lot, and first of all, I appreciate you saying that. It's a kind of a tough trip because getting from Belton to Houston's kind of a bear driving, and it's all kind of exhausting. But man, it's worth it because what happens is you've got carte blanche. Is that the word? Carte blanche to the coaches. There's 8 coaches down there, and they have some time. So I just spend a lot of it, not all of it, but I spend a lot of the 2 days interviewing each of the 8 coaches one-on-one.
Yeah.
And it's, the way I look at it, Happer, you understand this because you're in the business. June can be slow. And for a columnist, writer, football writer, it can be a little slow. It can be hard to come up with topics. After a week like this, I'm set.
Yeah.
I'm set.
This sets you up for all the way up until media days.
Almost probably. It'll get me close to that. So yeah, you get one-on-one time. I guess if I was painting a picture for the listeners, we just walked into the camp on Monday morning in Belton. It's at Mary Hardin Baylor University. It's a Division III power. It's a beautiful stadium. And I just walk in, and there's some kids there, obviously, for the camp. But the Nebraska coaches are just standing there. They're waiting half hour before the camp, and I just walk up to Evan Cooper and say, "Hey, you got a minute?" And you get a 15-minute interview.
Yeah,
you get his philosophies about what's going on in June, which is really important. But he also tells you about his current guys, what has to happen with them, and you can cover a lot of ground. You learn stuff. Terrence Knighton is an incredible interview, but you hardly ever get to talk to him. But if you go to a place like this, Terrence Knighton tells you things like, he just asked me, he said, who do you think leads my room? All right, probably Ty, Robinson, Nash. Nope, that's not who runs it. It's Jamari Butler. Really? Never would have guessed it. But he said after that Michigan game, it was Butler and Fedoni last year that took control. Fedoni doesn't surprise me. Butler, just because you don't hear much about it, but he's a guy they're kind of counting on. If he can get 8 sacks, he's probably a pro. But you don't hear that. You don't hear about it. You certainly don't hear about him in the context of he's the guy who controls that room and really a lead, maybe the foremost leader on the defense. Certainly one of the top 3. That was one thing. I'm writing about that for Sunday. The other thing, James Williams, you don't hear much about. But if you're around the building, James Williams isn't just a pass rush specialist anymore. James Williams is a guy they're going to be counting on. He's risen. There's a big rise going on with James Williams. So you learn stuff like that. You just don't. It's just hard to pick that stuff up sometimes. But if you get 20 minutes with Terrence Knight, you start learning a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. I would. That's really interesting. I would say, when and you getting to talk to all the coaches, I assume you kind of felt this. The I guess narrative with the coaching staff is their Texas ties, obviously, especially Rule, and it's it's on display in full force when they're running a variety of different camps down in Texas. But you'll see this from them, and when they are operating Friday Night Lights for each of the next couple of weeks, their hard recruiting work never stops. Like there's this narrative that they're all tied into Texas, and certain amounts of those guys have connections to the area. But what has really amazed me, Sipple, is their not only the relationships that they can develop with everybody across the board and from a recruiting side, but also just their hard work at the entire thing, like and how meticulously planned all their recruiting operation is and how hard they work at it. Like, was that on display for you when you were down there?
Oh, absolutely. June is maybe their busiest month now, which is, it's different than it was 5-6 years ago. June, I'll tell you what's most interesting to me, Happer, is the recruiting element is huge. I mean, they're at these satellite camps. They rush back on, what night was it? Tuesday night. They rushed back because they had a big time recruit on campus. So these guys are all packed in a plane. I mean, it's 8 coaches. They're packed in a plane. So they left actually a little early. The satellite camp at Houston Christian that night. They cut out a little early to get back because a big time players on campus. A kid named Utu, a lineman. So yeah, there's a lot going on. But the thing that I can't emphasize enough is, and they talk about this, is they're recruiting, and they have to recruit. That's obvious. Talent acquisition is what it's about. But also what it's about is their current players who are in OTAs now. I mean, they have OTAs. Tuesdays and Thursdays are big days, and they were all thinking about that. They know the score here. I mean, those guys, I'm not saying there's pressure to win a set amount of games, but there's always pressure to win. And there's their current group of guys that they can't shortchange because they're thinking about the future. So that part of it was fascinating to me. I mean, I was just talking to Garrett McGuire, and we were talking recruit stuff, camp, satellite camp stuff. But he said, I just want to get back to see how my guys are doing in OTA, which started Tuesday. And I'm like, wow. And I guess the reason it came up is because we were talking about the 2024 season. He said, well, and who's going to play for him? And guys making moves. And he said, well, a lot of that is determined in June and July and August, of course, with preseason camp. But, think about it. Like, that's a little different than late 90s, early 2000s covering Nebraska football. There's guys that can slide out of a depth chart position in June and July if they're not minding their P's and Q's. So yeah, it's really intense and it's really busy.
Sipple, awesome stuff. Appreciate the coverage from down there, and enjoy your weekend. See you later.
Well, God bless you for having me and always being patient. I appreciate it.
Always Sipple. That is Steve Sipple of HuskerOnline.com. We'd be happy to have him at any moment in time.
Absolutely. What's the takeaway from that interview?
All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. First of all, I love the post-game Sipple conversation because he delivers so much in a matter of 12,
Stuff
15
that
minutes.
he thinks isn't a big deal is just really odd to all of us. Obviously, the revelation, I think, if you guys didn't know, Sipple calls shorts short pants. It's not a big deal to me anymore. I've heard it for 10 years.
If you watched King of the Hill, they referred to shorts as short pants, and it was jarring, but that's the only place I've really ever heard it. I don't get to the South much.
I think the more notable thing that we didn't really emphasize much, although I did ask a brief follow-up question, was not only did he leave his suitcase at home in Lincoln before coming to Omaha to the airport to fly, and then buy all new clothes,
$134.
But the clothes that he was wearing originally when he came to Houston, when he went to Texas, he had them in a bag, and then he forgot that in the Houston airport. I thought that was an underrated part of what we went through just then.
Yeah, that's not going to pop up on a lot of people's lists.
Also, we never really got the answer on how how'd
you get the clothes home?
The clothes bag. I mean, it's in a plastic bag, I guess, and then somehow lost the plastic bag that housed his original clothes, and he left them at the Houston Hobby Airport. Unattended luggage is really frowned upon at airports. I don't know if you guys knew this.
It plays over the speakers almost constantly.
Thanks a lot, Bin Laden, once again. But when somebody found that hours after Sipple had left the airport, I don't know what happened. Might have shut down the airport for a little while. An American treasure. We've been full of American treasures today on the show.
It's been a great show.
It's been a fun Friday show, that's for sure. All right. We will come back. I actually have some takes I got to get off. I haven't said anything yet today.
That's right. What a great show.
So we will indeed do that. One or two regarding Mr. Yogurt and his thoughts about NIL. We'll do that when we come back. But first, the NBA Finals are here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win alongside the champions. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 that you can use game by game on things like same game parlays or live bets or player props, things of that nature. And so when you place that first $5 bet and when you win that $5 bet, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets. And then you could really, really play around here. So who wins which game in the exact order they win them, right? If you think Boston is going to sweep, they will win the remainder of the games. You can currently get that plus 440 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a variety of other categories in there as well. So once you get that sweet $200 in bonus cash, then you can really spread some things around on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I'd encourage you to do so. And when you do, use FanDuel.com/Happer and get started. Take a shot at an extra $200. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager, only $5 first deposit required. Bonus is issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620, The Zone.
For the second year, the Nebraska Lottery's NASCAR Powerball Playoff promotion has roared into our state, and the excitement is throttling up. Until June 24th, buy a Powerball ticket with Power Play and Double Play. Enter the voucher number, and you could be one of 15 Nebraska winners of $1,000 and the chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship weekend, plus a shot at $1 million. Enter today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Funplex has asked me to give you a first-hand account of the all-new for 2024 Wipeout attraction.
Okay, hit it.
We're starting up. Spinning a little now. Whoa, a lot.
The centrifugal force is starting to stretch my face. Holy this thing's fast. Whoa, it's tilting. We have tilting. Woohoo, this is awesome. You got to try this. Get your tickets now at fun-plex.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Like 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. Switch today.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Get ready to experience the excitement of college baseball's championship series in Omaha with Tickets for Less. Use promo code THEZONE to get exclusive savings on tickets for this year's games at ticketsforless.com. Every seat holds a story. Find yours with no service fees at ticketsforless.com.
Tell us how you feel on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Nick, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction at yourexteriorexperts.com.
All right, I got 3 things I want to do still left in the show, and we don't have much time to do them.
Listen up, everybody.
Listen up. I got stuff to say. It's not about Bruce Hornsby anymore. So a lot of people are talking about the stupid logos on the fields. Who cares?
It's happening. Like, get okay with it.
Everything's about money.
Yeah.
We already know this. Revenue is the king of college athletics now. I'd like to hear an argument that that's not happening. We have another piece of evidence in. I actually thought this was mildly interesting, and I want to know what people feel about it. Ohio State, the Ohio State of Buckeye fame, they are selling tickets to their preseason practices. Some of their preseason practices. $50 a pop, Josh. $50 a pop to go watch a practice. Fans can see an actual game for around the same price point, but these tickets offer something beyond a chance to see the team. They're opening up, the Buckeyes are opening up the first 4 practices of training camp to the public, or at least a certain section of the public. The public willing to pay $50 to watch their favorite team practice. Practices August 1, August 4. $50 also buys fans a pair of commemorative 2024 Ohio State training camp sunglasses and access to the family-friendly Fan Fest. Buckeyes will sell 750 tickets to each practice with a limit of 10 tickets per order. I would imagine that they would all sell out. 3,000 tickets, 4 practices, $50 a pop. It's not bad. It's a revenue stream for Ohio State that did not previously exist, Josh. And so I think there's a lot of different angles to this.
It's all about revenue.
I have no doubt, by the way, that this would sell out at Nebraska. We're talking about $150,000 here.
Revenue.
150 grand in the football budget that just is new. Daddy needs new towels, whatever it might be. They got them. Their apparel provider probably provides them for that.
Maybe a bad example, but
Daddy needs a new camera.
Yeah.
For the social media team, or a new throne for the social media team to take pictures of recruits in. Oh, I guess those are banned, right?
Those are banned. Yeah, props are banned.
Of
all the loosey-goosey rules, props are what we put our foot down on.
According to 11 Warriors, the Ohio State website, the Ohio State blog, I should say, the tickets are being sold by Ohio State sports properties, not Ohio State athletics department, which with proceeds benefiting the Buckeyes NIL efforts.
I would love to know how quickly after this story broke did a phone ring in the Nebraska athletic offices with, guys, I got an idea.
I mean, this was instantly.
Yes.
Instantly at Nebraska. And then, I mean, what it basically is, and I know there's a lot of this in this state, what it basically is offers fans the opportunity to get similar access for those 4 days at the cost of $50 a day that the media does,
Right.
So you have people covering, practice. You don't get to talk to the coaches afterwards or anything like that, but it's like, hey, we get to watch practice. I can post my thoughts on the message board. And I don't have to take these damn media people's, word for it and their untrained eye. I could just watch for myself for 4 days. Here's what I think of the depth chart. Here's what I saw. Like, it's free money for the athletic department. And people would do it here. There's no doubt about it.
There's a pocket full of schools where this would work like gangbusters. And I'm going to assume Matt Rule would be okay with this to some extent and green light this immediately, right?
I don't know. I wonder. I wonder what Mr. Yogurt thinks about it.
How much of the practice do they get to see for this money?
According to what I have here, I mean, all of it. I mean, just four practices.
Okay.
They don't. College football teams, especially at the start of fall camp, like they don't practice that long and that intense.
Sure. It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Got to get used to the heat.
At least I shouldn't say college football teams. I should say Nebraska. Like they like to keep it pretty efficient and relatively short. But an interesting question here from John.
Hi, John.
Will Connor Stallions be buying any tickets to the Ohio State Open practices?
Whoa, that is a the question I had not thought of.
Where will the spies be, Josh?
Oh my God.
The spies will be out.
Huh.
The spies will be out.
Maybe I hadn't thought of this all the way through.
Let's take a quick time out here. We'll come back and talk about some of the things that Mr. Yogurt had to say relatively recently. Next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
You Darvish, having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio. This is 1620 The Zone.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
There is only one constant in the universe, and that's change.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
I'm sure many of you remember the incredibly low interest rates that were available only a few years ago. Well, things changed. Now rates are higher. But would you believe me if I told you there was a time when people were paying double-digit rates? And that's the thing. Everything changes. Rates go up, rates go down. So if you're waiting for the perfect time when rates drop before you buy a home, you might miss out on the home you really want. So when you think about it, what's a thing today might not be a thing tomorrow. See? Change is good. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists, and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. Everlevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage, and it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today.
Get ready to experience the excitement of college baseball's championship series in Omaha with Tickets for Less. Use promo code THEZONE to get exclusive savings on tickets for this year's games at ticketsforless.com. Every seat holds a story. Find yours with no service fees at ticketsforless.com. Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha frequently conducts clinical trials for a broad range of investigational treatments. Velocity is currently seeking participants to wear a Fitbit watch for 31 days with compensation of up to $200. Some other current studies include low T, COPD, flu, pediatric, infant, and RSV. They also perform vaccine studies for people of all ages. See current trials at velocityclinicaltrials.com, compensation for study-related time and travel, and find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
Tickets for Less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
On the Ohio State practices, Star Wars Fiend writes in.
Hello, Star Wars Fiend.
Sounds like something for the olds. Buy a practice ticket, get a cup of coffee, and talk about weather with your arms crossed. You feel like a big timer. I mean, that's cool. You get access to a major college football team's practice. I'm like, I'd pay $50 for that opportunity if I was a diehard fan. Like I would. I would go to one of them for sure.
And here's one more follow through on that. Like during the season, people would call in during the week and be like, I went to every practice. And here's what I saw. They need to give it to 22 more. 22 in practice was executing that play better than anybody else on the field.
You're going to see more of this. I mean, maybe not directly, hey, pay $50 and you can go to practice, but I think this has grown in the NIL era. College football teams and coaches and players are busy all the time, but we haven't necessarily got they haven't made a great revenue stream from access to the team. It's a thing that they have to offer. Hasn't necessarily been tapped into a whole lot yet. So I'm interested to see kind of where that goes. It's an idea that will lead to several other ideas. Here is Mr. Yogurt. Now I want to be clear. This has been making the rounds on social media over the last couple of days. There was a video of this.
Have you seen Mr. Yogurt's video?
I have seen Mr. Yogurt's video. It was at an 1890 event. And what I just said there might be surprising because of what the contents of the video. I'll read you the quote after this. I want you to keep in mind that this was about 6 weeks ago now. This is around the spring game. And the video was going around and making its rounds on the YouTube link was making its rounds on social media yesterday. And then it was made private. It got taken down. Basically. It's not particularly salacious. Okay. I just think it's a bit of a misstep by, I don't want to get the takeout before I read you the actual quote, but it's a bit of a misstep by Danon. It's kind of a read the room type of situation. So here he is. Let me tell you something about NIL, he says at an 1890 initiative event. Let me tell you something about NIL. It's not going to last forever. Here's what I think is going to happen, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. There's going to be an antitrust settlement this year in the courts. Part of that antitrust settlement, 1890 will go away. What's going to replace 1890 is athletic department revenue share. In the budget with the AD right now, we have a $20 million placeholder to share money with our athletes. We have that in our budget right now. There are 3 other schools that have that in their budget, Georgia, Texas, and us. We have great advantages here. We don't have debt. We have great reserves. We have a great fan base. Our facilities are good. Let's talk about the next 2 years. NIL isn't coming in-house. It's going to be replaced by something else. At Washington last year, we had an NIL football budget of $10 million and went to the national championship game. Oregon's was $23 million. Ohio State's was $23 million. Ours at Nebraska is not even $10 million. In the next couple of years, we'll be fighting an even fight. Right now, we're not fighting an even fight. If you ask the coaches, what do you need from me to be the most successful? It's to support the initiative to get athletes to Lincoln. That is Troy Danon in April of really the day before the spring game, I think. So what do we know now that's different from April 26th?
The revenue sharing.
The antitrust lawsuit came through.
Yeah.
And what do we know about that? 1890 NIL, I should say, is not going away. NIL is not going away. What will happen is the primary income that is used for pay for play, as NIL is being used right now, to competitively recruit players and get players, whether it's out of the transfer portal or the regular recruiting cycle, that will be that part of the income will be transferred to in-house. That's the $20 million line item placeholder that Nebraska has in their budget right now that they will have in a couple of years or whenever it happens, a year. That's what will be going in-house. That will be paid for by the university. At that point, NIL will still exist. NIL will just be what it was always intended to do, which is literally be agents for players and connect them to the community, get them sponsorship deals, do social media posts, like what, and that's name, image, and likeness.
Yes,
guys, name, image, and likeness. What it has become is pay for play. I feel like we, like the shortening of NIL and calling it NIL, and then we've turned it into the boogeyman a lot over the last couple of years. It's honestly like it's when people think NIL now, they don't think name, image, and likeness.
Right.
They think of players making millions of dollars.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, right. It's odd. So I think that's what Dannon got wrong, but he couldn't have known at the time, right? It was just an incorrect prediction.
Right.
He was like Josh doing a grumball. He was like me saying that the Nuggets were done, and then they weren't done, And
then, in fact, they were done.
And then in fact, they were done. Yes. So I think he just had a poor prediction. Also, there's a time and place thing here. Also, I think there is also a lesson in here about being the Nebraska athletic director.
That was my takeaway from this whole thing, was that Troy Dannon learned that I'm sure he was told this, but literally everything you say in public, whether it be private or public, will get out.
It will be found.
No matter if you think it is a nothing burger or the most salacious thing you've ever said in public, it will get to people.
Yeah. So you're going to just want to be careful.
You're just going to want to say nothing.
That's all.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Be careful. And when you have something to say, give people the facts and yeah. So I think that's a lesson.
Oh, the microscope is different.
When you're talking to boosters, you're not just talking to boosters. You're talking to everyone. That does not stay in that room, right? So there's a lesson in there from Dannon, which I mean it's totally no big deal. Now I want to stick on the NIL thing real quick, because what's going to happen now is Nebraska. The other interesting part of this was that Nebraska's NIL budget is not what Oregon's is. It's not what Ohio State's is. It's not even what Washington's was last year, as part of what he mentioned in that statement there, or in that conversation there. And so how it's turned out with the loss, with the antitrust, settlement and all that stuff, how it's turned out is that there's going to be we don't know the exact number yet, but people are ballparking at $20 to $25 million a year for players on campus or student athletes on campus to make money and be paid to be student athletes on campus. Nebraska has put itself in a position where they have this money. They already have the budget set aside for it, and they are in on the game. There are a lot of schools around the country who compete in the same world as Nebraska does, who cannot and will not do this. They don't have enough money.
Right.
They cannot and will not do this. And so Nebraska's problem is not that they are incapable of producing money. It is that they don't have at the moment the fervor within the fan base and a variety of other things and the amount of people at their disposal to be at the high end. So when you cut off the high end, and basically what you're creating in college athletics is a salary cap, it does exactly what Dannon said. Level the playing field. When this goes into effect, Nebraska will be at an even playing field as everybody else. Nebraska could even look at it as an advantage because they get to be in now the same ballpark from a player acquisition standpoint as just from the monetary side of things. Obviously, winning football games is still really important, and facilities and all that stuff. But what Nebraska would probably be saying at that point is, all right, we have the same salary cap as everybody else. There's no mid-market teams, in college football. Nebraska's a mid-market team right now in terms of player acquisition in the NIL game. But there's no such thing. So as long as we have our bleep together, we know what we're doing from a football perspective, and we have our facilities, and we have checked all these boxes. We still have this fan base that is fantastic. All we got to do is win some games, and we're on a level playing field with everybody else.
Win games.
Everybody else in the country. And so, I mean, that's a really, really important. It was enlightening to see that. I think this has been kind of talked about. Like I said, the reaction to this is not, oh, are you serious? Nebraska has no money, because I've seen that a couple times over the last 48 hours. Like, all you guys tell us in the media is that Nebraska's NIL operation is good and it's got no problems.
Because they seem to not be desperate for money, but like very concerned about revenue. People are thinking, oh, did Trev unbalance the books like he did in Omaha on his way out the door?
It's just tighter.
Yeah.
It's just a lot tighter with that $20 million line item. But then when you compare NIL to NIL, like how's Nebraska's NIL compared to Ohio State? How's Nebraska's NIL compared to Oregon? Well, it turns out not very good. But how's Nebraska's NIL in general with what they're trying to put together? Totally fine. Healthy.
Whoa.
But not top level. And everybody always says Nebraska needs to pay the most and be the best and do all these things and all that stuff. And so when this gets taken in-house, Nebraska will be able to do that because there will be a salary cap. And Ohio State. Now, I think, in my opinion, this is me, not Mr. Yogurt talking, but or the antitrust settlement. I just talked about how NIL will go back to being its original purpose. Maybe I don't believe that entirely, because what happens is schools use that as a supplement to their salary capped number that they have on campus and blah, 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 blah.
I believe the do nothing jobs at local car dealerships will return.
Maybe. So it's interesting. I don't think he's that wrong. I think outside from just a few of the detailed pieces of it, which once again, he couldn't have known during the time because this speech was given 6 weeks ago.
People forget.
People do forget. So that's what Mr. Yogurt's up to. And that thing spread like wildfire yesterday. We were watching that video everywhere.
Get ready to speak Husker, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, that is definitely a part of the job here, man.
Fish bowl.
You gotta, when you are talking or when you are out in public, you are in public and you are talking to everyone.
I'm sure they didn't want to be mean or scare him, so they sat him down when he first got here and he said, remember, when you're out in public, you represent Nebraska. And he said, oh, yeah, sure. Don't do anything stupid.
I've been an athletic director before.
Yeah.
Now you got to sit him back down. You got to say, do you get it now?
You get it? What'd you learn? Get ready to say nothing, buddy.
We'll take a quick break. The original intention of Steak or Fake, which is originally supposed to be our weekend preview of the Super Regionals, which are underway. We will do that on the other side, and still a couple other spare things. Maybe we could talk about that Caitlin Clark thing still.
Got to get to it.
So we'll do that as we get close to the weekend here on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The bottom line is, for 6 months of YouTube TV, 5 of Prime Video, 1 month each of Peacock, ESPN Plus, and Netflix, comes to a grand total of $506.86. And then if you want to add the Sunday ticket, you're looking at $855 if you want access to every single NFL game played this season.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Clouds continue to increase for your Friday afternoon with a high today in Omaha of 87. A bit breezy with southerly wind gusts up to 15 to 20 miles an hour, and a chance of storms increasing after especially 6 p.m. Moving into the Omaha Metro, strong to severe storms between 9 to 11. 80-mile-per-hour winds, large hail, flash flooding are all possible with an isolated tornado, unable to be ruled out. A low tonight of 63. Partly cloudy skies for your Saturday. Cooler tomorrow with a high of 77. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Watch the summer sky light up at Warner Park this season with one of the Omaha Storm Chasers' 10 Friday fireworks shows. Find those Friday firework dates and all promotions at omahastormchasers.com.
Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm with family.
When it comes to protecting your home, Jay Stennett Contracting takes pride in ensuring every detail is handled. Roofing, siding, gutters. When it comes to the exterior of your home, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. Water, wind, and hail can wreak havoc on the exterior of your home. If your home is damaged, let Jay Stennett Contracting come out for a no-obligation inspection. If repairs are needed, they will help you through every step of the process. When you need an honest assessment, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. JSCRestoration.com.
Grandpa Dave here from Osted's Golf, helping the grandkids get their dad the perfect gift for Father's Day.
Thanks for your help, Grandpa. Dad wasn't thrilled with the candy that we got him last year, but we sure liked it.
Okay, kids, save up to $200 on clubs from TaylorMade, Callaway, Titleist, or Ping. We're up to 50% off name brand golf apparel. Buy 2 dozen Strixon balls, get one free. And dads love Osted's gift cards.
Papa, we need a bigger allowance.
Talk to your dad.
Shop Osted's Golf for Father's Day.
Introducing Modern Real Estate, the game changer in Nebraska's property market. With a competitive 2% commission rate, we're making buying, selling, and investing more affordable and transparent than ever. Our experienced agents blend local expertise with cutting-edge technology to provide top-notch personalized service to all clients. Don't settle for less when you can save big without compromising. Visit modernrealestateco.com and experience the future of real estate today. Modern Real Estate, redefining the way you do real estate.
Funplex asked an AI assistant where you find ultimate summer fun. And,
Funplex, Nebraska's largest water park and rides, now with the brand new spinning, tilting Wipeout. Tasty treats, special events, private cabanas, and more. Probability of unforgettable fun, 100%. Funplex is the best choice for an all-in-one day of summer excitement.
So, see you at Funplex then?
I am a language model.
Yeah, fair enough. Get your human tickets at fun-plex.com. Let's go!
The back seat. Check the back seat. All right, come here. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the back seat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right, 9-1 Florida State in the bottom of the 6th in Tallahassee.
Plenty of time, UConn.
Jim Penders has been arguing about various things all day long today. There was a guy who got hit, and they told him that he leaned into it and got called out and sent back, and Jim Penders is mad about that. And they're saying this guy did get hit, but it actually looked like it hit the ground first. Hasn't been UConn's day so far. That ball's hammered.
Foul.
9-1 Knowles in the bottom of the 6th. Game 2 of the Super Regionals today. So the second Super Regional game will begin on about a half hour. Evansville in Tennessee. Go Vols, Jeff Jarrett would say.
Absolutely.
Go Vols.
You're going to go against Double J?
I don't think that I will, especially in this situation.
Okay.
Yeah. Every Super Regional game this weekend is on linear television, whether it's ESPN, ESPN2, or the U.
That's great.
Evansville, Tennessee, starting at 2 from Knoxville. West Virginia and North Carolina at 5 on ESPN, and then K-State, Virginia starting the Charlottesville Super at 6 on ESPN2. So, Josh, this is where we do it. We got to map out our field. By the time we talk to you guys on Monday, we'll either have a full field or just really 1 or 2 left. And I think they try to play those Super Regional Game 3s in the day just so they can have as much rest as possible before Friday at the College World Series. So, with that being said, we might have a full field when we talk to you on Monday. Josh's bracket is already toasted, thrown into the fireplace.
The whole left side is kaput.
It is gone. Which One is steak and one is fake.
Okay.
UConn or Florida State, especially given the information that we have right now. I assume we're both going to say that UConn gets Donald Trump here.
You are fake news.
Yeah, unfortunately. Good story, but it's going to come to an end here.
Florida State, sizzle them up. You're coming to Omaha. Link Jarrett, let's talk ball a lot. Sometimes the network tells us, they say, Connor, all we need from you here is about 2 minutes with the coach. Ask him about his pitcher for the day. Ask him about what it's like to be back in Omaha, and then go back upstairs and sit down for a little while in the cool air conditioning. But then I talked to Link Jarrett, and Link Jarrett has other plans.
Okay.
Link Jarrett would like to talk to me for 9 minutes.
Interesting.
And so maybe I say, John, this one's going to go a little long. Your pregame's cut today. Sorry. It's me and Link Jarrett time. So that's what Josh is predicting.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm predicting.
Josh, good prediction. Put it on the list. Florida State is steak for next weekend. Evansville at number 1, Tennessee, game 2. Well, game 1 is today at 2. Game 2 is tomorrow at 10. And a potential game 3 would be 5 o'clock on Sunday. Who is steak and who is fake?
I'm not gonna shock anyone here. The Vols are steak. They're the number 1 overall seed. Evansville is.
You are fake news.
That's right.
I will handshake beam that with you.
Omaha would welcome Evansville with open arms, but sadly,
I don't know. I was discussing this with a friend of mine last night. I wish the underdogs were more fun.
Yeah, it's not a fun.
I wish the underdogs were a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
What
was it?
I don't know what it is about Evansville, but there's nothing really fun about that for me.
Was it 2 years ago we had like all ACC or SEC teams, and it ended up being plucky underdog Alabama or something, or Oklahoma or something like that?
Yeah, it was Oklahoma and Ole Miss.
Ole Miss? Yeah. That was the finals one year.
Yeah, that was the finals 2 years ago.
Ole Miss would have been the underdog, I guess, in that scenario.
Well, Ole Miss they barely made the tournament.
Team 64, right?
Yeah, and both those teams had a lot of talent. Elko, don't let the Rebs get hot.
That's right.
All right, so we're both in on Tennessee, Florida State. I don't know exactly what the times look like yet in the bracket. I don't think that'd be game 1, but that would be a matchup. Florida State and Tennessee.
Yes.
All right, on to Chapel Hill. Game 1 today at 5 between the Heels and the Mountain Dews, the Mountaineers. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock for game 2 and 2 o'clock Sunday for a potential game 3. Josh, West Virginia, JJ Weatherholt. Coach's retiring factor. Coach's retiring factor. Heels are fun. Heels haven't been back in a couple years.
I'm going to go Heels.
Honeycutt, Vance Honeycutt.
Heels or steak?
The Heels are steak.
Steak.
I prefer North Carolina here. I prefer North Carolina to West Virginia.
Why is that, out of curiosity?
I like the colors. There's something. I think they're one of the best, few teams in the country. Obviously, they're the number 4 national seed. But I'm going to say that the Heels are.
You are fake news.
I'm going with the Mountaineers this weekend.
Okay.
Maybe in 3. But they got something going on over there. There's some magic to that team.
I will say this definitely feels like a 3-gamer.
Okay. All right. With that, it'll probably be the Heels in 2.
That's right.
Kansas State. Are the underdogs fun? You tell me. Kansas State is in a super regional. They are at the 12th national seed, Virginia. This super regional was supposed to be in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It will instead be in Charlottesville, Virginia. K-State or the Who's, Josh? I personally don't. I don't prefer either of them.
We always make fun of the guys who call in or tweet it and they say missile attack or plane crash.
Meteor, big meteor.
Big meteor.
That is a big meteor.
Yeah, big
missile
meteor.
attack. Jeez, Josh.
I would like big meteor to
you
win
want
this
big
bracket.
meteor?
Yeah.
All right, poll question. Who do you want? Virginia, K-State, or big meteor?
But give me K-State. Virginia, I'm sorry.
Right, so you're saying K-State is sizzling for you. I do not get the same vibe from K-State as I do from like West Virginia.
Correct.
Although they are both 3 seeds. I think the Hoos are coming back. I think the Hoos are coming back.
I understand that.
So I think that Virginia is the sizzle, and I think K-State is.
You are fake news.
Fake news. Sticker fake. It's very good.
It's a great game taking the nation by storm.
Halfway home. Here's my College World Series field so far: Florida State, Tennessee, West Virginia, and Virginia. If only there were a South Virginia. This might be the super of the weekend. I guess from a matchup perspective, it is. North Carolina State is in Athens to take on the 7 national seed Georgia. Game 1 is tomorrow. Game 2 is Sunday. Game 3 is TBD Monday. Both early starts on Saturday and Sunday for NC State and Georgia. Charlie Condon is the best player in the country this year. He's the best hitter in the country. He's hit 175 dongs this year, around there.
You can't keep pants on this guy.
Exactly. The dongs are everywhere. Who's steak and who's fake? This is a tough pick. Do you think this is a 3-gamer?
I do think this is a 3-gamer. I'm going to defer to the home team, the team with the best player, Georgia.
Georgia sizzles. Georgia sizzles. This is a really tough one. I like NC State's pedigree here.
Yeah.
You know, I like their postseason pedigree. I think obviously they've been through quite a bit over the last several years, including notably 3 years ago in Omaha.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Didn't matter.
They were asked to leave.
So as much as I want to see Charlie Condon here, I think they are.
You are fake
I
news.
think they're fake news. Give me the pack. Pack 9 to Omaha. We are not setting up well so far for an Omaha 8, Josh.
Connor going fake news in Georgia. Interesting.
Once again, I'd like to repeat my College World Series field up to this point. Florida State, Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia, and North Carolina State.
This is great for my budget because I don't have to buy gear for any of these teams.
Oregon and Texas A&M. Now, I think this is the rare for Omahans win-win super. Texas A&M is good, although they are not a joy to watch play, but they are one of the best teams in the country. And Oregon is fun because all the children from yesteryear have Oregon reversible shorts that they got from Shields at 168th and Dodge.
One of your best takes, actually.
I was one of them. I remember this because I'm one of them. I have a pair of Oregon reversible shorts. I probably donated them to Goodwill by now.
They're happy you did.
Game 1 is tomorrow at 1. Game 2 is Sunday night, and Game 3 is TBD, of course, on Monday. Give me the Aggies here. Give me Trev making his triumphant return, sizzling his way back into Omaha, and canceling various programs on his way up.
This does have a little bit, it seems inevitable. Oregon is a worthy foe, but boy, hasn't the way it's gone since Trev left, it just guarantees Texas A&M's coming to town.
Yeah.
Aggies got that sizzle.
Yeah. Oregon's been right on the cusp of this for a couple years now.
They haven't been here since like 54, I think.
It's been a very long time.
Pac-12 shuttering its doors. They need one team in here.
But you got the Aggies?
I got the Aggies.
We are both sizzling on the Aggies. Florida, the champion of the Stillwater Regional, heads to Clemson to get Eric Bakich. And the Tigers. Game 1 is Saturday at 1. Game 2 is 1:30 on Sunday. And Game 3 is, of course, TBD on Monday. Will we take the classic Husker fan overreaction and take the chomping Gators?
I will, yes.
I will not.
Okay.
I say that Florida is...
You are fake news.
And Clemson is the sizzler.
So
like the Rizzler.
So to recap, you've gone fake news in Georgia and Florida. Okay.
Say of that what you will, Josh.
Just pointing it out to the audience.
Clemson back with their white shoes in Omaha next week. And my favorite super is Oregon State and Kentucky. Game 1 is Saturday night at 5. Game 2 is Sunday night at 8. And Game 3 is TBD, of course, on Monday. I believe that this will be the Beavers in 2. Utah, give me a 2.
Whoa.
Championship pedigree. Travis Bazana, best player in college baseball, second best player, I guess, in college baseball, probably the number 1 overall pick coming up this year. Give me the Beavers to make their way back to Omaha.
Connor, I need 2 things. I need a Pac-12 team in this field, and I need an I told you so for my 64-team bracket, which is in the trash.
You are fake news.
Oregon State provides me both of those things. Give me the Beavs here. Okay. I had them in Omaha when the tournament bracket was revealed. I don't have much left to cling to. I would like to cling to this.
There is our Omaha 8s. Josh has them written down. I think he was taking notes during that.
I do. I have them written down.
You'll probably make a graphic about that at some point.
Maybe.
Chance writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Chance.
How big of a boo will Trev receive when they show him at the Chuck? Great question. Yeah. I'm wondering how many people will turn off 1620 The Zone or any of our Westwood One affiliates when I interview them during one of the games next week.
Chance also makes a great point about who would win the Jello Shot Challenge of these teams.
Rocco's is not going to like that this year.
Tennessee
talks a big game, but I'm still waiting.
I got to see it.
I think K-State would turn into like, if they do it, which I don't have them doing it, I think they would turn into like it's up the road, and all of a sudden all these people would come out of nowhere and start working their EMA stuff.
A&M?
No.
Yeah, they don't.
Talks a big game.
Who's coming? North Carolina fans, because
we stay with the adopted Oregon State, I suppose.
Because Omaha fans are just drinking shots. And I don't know. North Carolina, pick one.
I'd watch out for Kentucky if they make it.
Okay.
They could go a little bit. And they're not used to success, so there's some fervor there.
And Mock Pope would come home.
Mock Pope, back in my hometown, Omaha. All right, back with the polls. We'll tell you what to watch. By the way, Jasker Todd writes in.
Hi, Jasker Todd.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more beaver. Thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't want to pick Oregon State for the same reasons you don't pick South Carolina.
You're sick of the beaver conversation?
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. Poll question, are you sick of the beaver conversation?
Sure. We don't have very many polls, I don't think, today. Polls will tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com. Gary Sharp for Lindley Clothing. Summertime is here, and your wardrobe could use a Lindley Clothing fit check. I know they've helped me. Anytime is the right time to look and feel my best with Lindley Clothing. And right now, 25% off all spring and summer sportswear. Shorts, polos, short sleeve shirts, 25% off. Plus, if you mention my name, you'll get a free gift with a purchase of $25 or more. 25% off spring and summer sportswear. So what are you waiting for? Head to Lindley Clothing, 132nd and West Dodge in the Linden Market. They're ready to get your fit check right. And don't forget Father's Day coming up June 16th.
When it comes to concrete repair, Everlevel has some serious game. Coach Greg McDermott here to coach you on why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. They've got the fundamentals to fix your cracked and uneven concrete, and their products will give you the best defense against future damage. It's a fraction of the price compared to replacement, and their solutions come with a long-term transferable warranty. Working with Everlevel is a slam dunk. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today for your free inspection.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites you to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
Welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Otson, Slap Nuts.
That's me, Slap Nuts.
With you here.
Trademarked.
If you missed what we're talking about, go ahead and go back and listen to the noon segment today, segment 7 of this show. That is where we welcomed in AEW's Jeff Jarrett to the show, and we get to talk wrestling, and Jeff got to make fun of me for not talking about wrestling. It was awesome. I really liked it.
I had high expectations for the conversation before it started, and he cleared the bar.
Poll questions. We had one yesterday afternoon's crossover. Have you heard of Vertigo, the movie? But that's not what it says.
No. Have you heard of Vertigo?
Yes. I have heard of Vertigo.
Yes, I have.
The word. Have I heard of the movie? No. So I know how this is intended, so I will vote as it's intended.
So you will vote no?
I will vote no.
Okay.
But I think 94% of people voted it as, why is that word vertigo capitalized? It's very confusing. Yes, of course I've heard of that.
Yes, of course.
94%. One poll question from today, and it came from 11 minutes ago.
That's right. Plenty of time to get in on this one.
Which would you prefer? Virginia, Kansas State, or Big Meteor?
Give me that meteor.
I don't want everyone to perish.
What if I could tell you that, like, just
everyone survives?
Just the baseball is
the region. The super regional just gets canceled, and no representative comes from there.
That's right.
Then I would pick Big Meteor probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to go Virginia.
Okay.
Go Hoos. Currently, it's a tie between K-State and Big Meteor. 39%.
Amazing.
But plenty of time to get in your vote on that one. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching this weekend?
We are watching the NBA Finals Game 2 Sunday night, ABC, 7 o'clock between the Celtics of Boston and the Mavericks of Dallas. Boston leads 1-0, as we all expected. That's the only basketball game over the weekend because these are so far apart for some reason. Stanley Cup Finals start tomorrow night on ABC, 7 o'clock on ABC. Game 1, Edmonton Oilers.
Go Oilers!
Florida Panthers. Florida 2-0 against Edmonton this season, but Edmonton has an entire nation on its shoulders. Canada seeking its first Stanley Cup since Montreal won it in 1993. Barry Melrose with the hair was the head coach of that team.
Just as I hitched my wagon to Calgary that one time.
You felt something, though, in the air, like, oh, Canada's doing something.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing with Edmonton now, and I apologize in advance to that city.
College baseball, 4 supers underway today, 8 tomorrow. UConn, Florida State right now, not going well for the Huskies, 16-1? 13-1?
13 at last check. They're doing a commercial right now that I'm very interested in.
The Grandma McFlurry?
Obviously, there's the tahine salt.
Yes.
But it appears as if there is now tahine sauce.
There is tahine everything right now. It is the hot commodity right now.
I'm a bit mesmerized by this.
Pick up some tagine this weekend.
People love their hot sauces.
That's right. Tennessee and Evansville get underway here in a matter of minutes on ESPN2. West Virginia, North Carolina, 5 o'clock, and K-State, Virginia, 6 o'clock. Baseball this weekend. Apple TV, the Pirates host the Twins at 5:40. Dodgers, Yankees Stadium. You're going to see a lot of this weekend. 6 o'clock tonight on Apple TV. 6 o'clock tomorrow night on Big Fox. 6 o'clock Sunday night, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. What will the status of Juan Soto be as he left the game with a injury yesterday? Should hear word on that if we haven't already.
His arm hurts. Ouchie.
Yes. Phillies and the Mets taking place in jolly old England, London Stadium for the 2024 London Series. Noon tomorrow on Big Fox, 9 a.m. Sunday on ESPN. So this is Fox's day Saturday. Phillies, Mets, the Belmont Stakes, Dodgers, Yankees.
Wow.
So big night on Big Fox. Giants, Rangers, noon Sunday. Your Roku game of the week, Connor.
Oh, boy.
That's right. Caitlin Clark, we didn't get to her today, but she will play basketball tonight in our nation's capital against the Washington Mystics, 6 o'clock on ION. New York Liberty, Connecticut Sun, noon tomorrow on ABC. Connecticut 9-0. A movie to watch this weekend on Netflix, Hitman, a mild-mannered professor, Glenn Powell. He was in Top Gun Maverick. He will be in the Jurassic Park ripoff Twisters this summer.
Nice.
He is moonlighting as a fake hitman, and it sets off a chain reaction of trouble when he falls for a potential client. And the last thing to watch, Connor, 6:30 tonight on KETV Channel 7.
What?
Our local ABC affiliate.
What are they doing?
Wheel of Fortune.
God.
After over 8,000 episodes across 41 years, Pat Sajak hosts his final episode of the iconic game show tonight. Ryan Seacrest will take over in the fall. Connor, admit Wheel of Fortune is great.
No. Nope. Not going to happen, Josh. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. We've also received a text that says, when does USA Cricket play? Any thoughts, Josh?
What a story. Am I right? UMBC, America, handshake meme.
Are we going to win? Is that what I'm led to believe?
Almost impossible, right? They were like the last seed and they beat the 1 seed.
I saw this thing going on online on Twitter about all the cricket fans. They were arguing with all the baseball fans, and each of them were doing videos, and they were like, the American mind could not comprehend this. And it was, something that happened in cricket. And then it was a whole bunch of baseball people firing back, like the British mind could not, or any other mind, European mind could not comprehend, Aroldis Chapman throwing a 106-mile-an-hour fastball or something like that, whatever it might be.
So there's a discourse.
There is a discourse about the cricket at the moment.
Hey, if America's good at something, I'm coming running. I don't care. You can call me bandwagon.
Running, boys. Full support.
USA, A-OK.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
So we're watching this weekend. That is the show. If you missed anything, you can find it all on our website, 1620thezone.com. The crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. Now that we got through the spring and we're in the summer, what's better for summer than ice cream? I always say, get yourself a bucket load. Now, I know they don't sell it by the buckets at Ted and Wally's, but they do sell it by the pint. They do sell it by the half gallon. All you got to do is call ahead to get yours reserved today. And so many flavors. Go on social media, whether it's Facebook or on Twitter, and they have a list of the day's ice creams for both locations. That's in the old market, of course, and in Benson. Swing by there, get yourself some great ice cream this summer, and tell them Severe sent you.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
A fantastic fall fishing trip starts right now. Hi, I'm Crash Davis. I need you to go to balanceresort.com and get signed up. You've heard me talking about it. You've asked me about it. Well, now is the time to get signed up. Only a few spots remain. Only a few days remain for us to have a great fishing adventure together at Balance Resort in northern Minnesota. We're going to Lake of the Woods. Get on the bus Sunday. We're back on Thursday, and it's cheaper than you could do for gas there and back hauling a boat. More details with balanceresort.com. Get signed up today. Time is of the essence.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Tell us how you feel on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Nick, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction at yourexteriorexperts.com.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're